Gemini 3 just dropped, and Google's calling it their most intelligent model. And from what I'm seeing online, it's been pretty wild. People are actually generating crazy beautiful websites just in one prompt. And it has some really nice design aesthetic just right out the get-go. They don't have to say, make sure this is green and fuzzy, make sure whatever. They just say, hey, generate a cool landing page for me, and it does it right away. This live stream is going to be dedicated to just really vibing live. And it's not going to be one of those things we're just going to compare to see if this model is good enough or anything for us. I'm going to invite you to code with me live, and I kind of want to hang out with everyone in the community. So we're going to be trying everything out. I'm going to be trying it inside of Cursor. I'm going to be trying this model inside of Droid, which I love to use as an agentic coder. We're going to see some of the trade-offs live. We're also going to be using it inside of AI Studio. So I have here in AI Studio, and right now, because so many people are trying to use the app, it's possible that we will actually run into different rate limits and stuff. Google has also released this thing called Antigravity, and this is an interesting product that I'm really aching to get into, because as a product, this is going to allow us to just really vibe our way through an entire app, from being a project manager to spinning off parallel agents to going really, really crazy. So I've downloaded the app. I haven't really finished the setup yet, and this is going to be really promising. There's some folks who maybe remember this app called Windsurf is an agentic coding thing, and that kind of split off. And some of the founders went to go ahead and join Google, and I think they're heading up the anti-gravity situation here. So this is interesting because anti-gravity is basically $0 a month, and it's just free. So we're going to get to play with it. There's probably going to be really heavy rate limits, but that's okay. We're going to try a lot of different things. Just before I started this stream, I pulled up my V0. Gemini 3 is now inside of V0, and I'm extremely excited about this because if everything is as good as it says, we're going to be able to, have like less rate limits, right? In here in V0, be able to deploy our apps and try everything out. So there's a lot of different things we're going to be vibing with. I want to show you an app that I made in Claude Code, and we're going to try to see if we can convert this app into the new Google Gemini 3 and see if we can make it better. I've been tracking the Kilauea volcano here in Hawaii, and this volcano is literally going to blow up soon. No, it goes off at certain times, and you have a small window to actually go see the volcano when it's really active. Otherwise, right now, you just see steam, and it's not really that exciting. And so in order to do this, it's kind of complicated. And it's funny, you have to ask ChatGPT on how to do this calculations and do this PhD level math. And you have to go to several USGS websites to find out some eruption information. So you have to figure out the monitoring for the last 5 days and see if the magma chamber has built up enough, and also take a look at the webcam to see what the current situation is there right now. On top of that, they release these forecasts every week or so, and they give you this data. So I don't know about you, I'm no scientist. I'm just trying to find out, should I be able to book a flight from this island right here on Oahu to the big island to go see this live? And I thought, how is there not an app? The USGS is not really good at generating apps. I have to scrape all of this data about this report and then pop it into my little Claude thing here. And this is what's going to turn it into some type of JSON thing. And then you can kind of see what Claude did to generate an app. And this looks like every other Vibecoded app, but these are all the requirements that I want. And so I was able to generate this, using an example here. And here's the actual, prompt example that I really wanted and how it should do the thing. So I'm thinking that if Gemini 3 is as good as it says, we should be able to really vibe code this app, and it should look stunning, and we'll see how it really goes. And I invite you to play around with me. This is going to be a really fun live stream. We're just going to hang out. If you were here for some of my other live streams, we have big shout outs to Corey Alice, who's been doing the support. Everyone who's been members here, y'all going to start lighting it up in the chat. I have that going on as well. People are saying, hi, Ray, how's it going? I appreciate everyone. It's time to cook for sure. Maybe Ultra will be in the scene now. We're going to see what's up. Yeah. So people are talking about this 2 billion token plan. We're going to see if we're going to see with that. Just installed Antigravity. Let's see what it offers. Yeah, this is really cool. So let's just get our IDEs spun up, get everything going if you haven't had that chance going. And let's just go ahead and vibe, because I feel like we're going to just share together in real time. And this is just the way of style I'd like to do. I also want to see if I can update my app called AnimeLeak. So AnimeLeak here, if you don't know, you can upload a photo. And what you can do is it transforms the photo. This is a photo of my friend, and add some anime type of things here. So we can kind of see this going on here. And then you can see kind of how it turns his glasses into this type of thing, which is really, really cool. And what I want to do is I want to make some more prompts that can make it be more fun. So like the next thing I wanted to do was do like a Thanksgiving thing. And I also want to do one for like the holidays, you know, Christmas, Hanukkah, all the good stuff involved, but also do a really fun one for 8-bit. So this is going to be a fun test of the model. So let's go ahead and first kind of pull up the model here real quick and see if I can get AnimeLeak updated. So right now I have Cursor pulled up. So Cursor is a really fun IDE, and this is like a really good one to get started. And I have this app called AnimeLeak, and we're just going to take a look. So inside of Cursor, to get this configured, all you have to do is go to the settings here. And then if you go to where it says models, you can look up Gemini and you'll see Gemini 3 Pro. And it's currently listed as the 200K context window with the version preview there. And that's where you're going to be able to play with the latest flagship model. And with that little brain, that's kind of telling us that everything's good to go. So inside of here, this is kind of where we can prompt it to do some things. And so I'm just going to hit a new chat here and we're going to play around with some things. I'm going to get rid of the terminal for now. And I'm going to go ahead and hit Command E. I think if I hit Command E in here in my app, I should be able to get to the agent window. So the agent window tab is also up here on the top left. So you can go between editor and agents view. And this is how you'll be able to see the things. So here's how I see the files. If I toggle the sidebar, I have this here. And if I didn't want the files here, I'm just going to go right into here. So as far as the model selection, we're going to go ahead and select Gemini 3 Pro. And I'm going to see if I can, like right now, I'm going to see if I can just vibe something right now. So in this app, I wanted to see if I can update my prompt for generating 8-bit images. I had just refactored it so that I can have the prompts available in Convex, but I'm not actually sure if we're using the prompts there or using some of the hard-coded prompts in my app. First, I want you to take a look and see what's currently being used. And if we need to finish any refactor, let's go ahead and do that. The second part of the thing that I want to do is I want to see if I can update the prompt for the Nano Banana model for specifically the 8-bit stuff, because it tends to generate these random video game elements, but I really wanted to have something fun and very special. There is a brand guidelines document about how I ship features, and I will attach that here for reference. So one of the cool things is that I forgot to go into plan mode. So I'm going to go into plan mode here, and then I'm going to add the brand. Let's see if I can do brand guidelines. So these are my brand guidelines about my app, and this is going to be very helpful. So it generates stuff around like what I'm really trying to do for my app here. And so instead of GPT-5 high fast, I'm going to do Gemini 3 Pro. And so here, we're going to try this out. I'm going to do all the local stuff here, and let's just go ahead and see what it does. So now we're currently in plan mode inside of Cursor using the new Gemini 3 Pro. And this is like my first prompt. Literally, this is my first look at this model. I have not had any early access with this. So we're actually coding live together, and we're going to take a look here. So you can use the max mode too. I think that's what I have enabled. Do I not? I want to just see. Yeah, I have max mode enabled, and I have this thing here because I want that little extended thinking here. That's really, really cool. Appreciate that. 1 million context. Yeah, so after 200,000 tokens, they charge you more for that as well. The model's slow, bro, like actually slow. Wow, interesting. Hold up. Antigravity is free. Why did you have to pay $20? Wait, I don't know. I actually have to take a look at that. Hawaii vibes in the house. Y'all are popping right now in the live stream. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got a lot of people. Dang, 100 people almost tuned in on YouTube. Let's go. Let's go. So we are cooking right now, and I'm going to see how this like prompt goes. While this is going here for our planning, I'm going to let it do its thing with AnimeLeak, but I want to see about this volcano app. I want to see if we can really cook with this, because I feel like this is going to be the opportunity of our lifetime. One is the Google models have access to the internet. So I don't have to be like grabbing data or doing whatever. It should be able to go to the USGS website and grab everything we need and parse the data in this really nice structured format. So if y'all are down with me, I'm going to try a couple of things. I'm going to try AI Studio, and I'm also going to try V0. So V0 also has access to the internet, and I'm going to try to build these apps in parallel. So that'd be a really interesting comparison. AI Studio versus, V0's Gemini 3, and we'll see how this really goes. That'd be really, really cool. So Gemini hype. Yeah, this is so crazy. Gemini 3.1 is faster than GPT-5.1, but slower and more intelligent. Interesting. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what y'all are like. Drop it in the comments. Like, I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking here. So let's go to the AI Studio. And in AI Studio here, it says create your first app. Let's go ahead and do that. And so it looks like the model we have selected is Gemini 3 Preview. We're going to do a React app. That looks pretty cool. So and as far as this, I'm just going to give it all of the same requirements here. that I did, and I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out, but we're just going to YOLO this because I feel like why not, right? So I'm going to say over here in the Gemini Studio. So we're just going to replicate this. I'm going to say report USGS underscore report, and then hit Shift Enter, and then USGS underscore report, and then I'm going to do a slash at, oh, no. Dang, Claude's trying to enter my chat. No, I'm not trying to do that. So here we are. Okay, so this is the first part, which is just the report. I'm giving some context to the model as an attachment. And then these are other attachments. So this is an instructions I set up about how it should generate my app. So this is exactly what it should do. And it's possible that I'm just going to give it too much instructions, but I'm really just testing how this model will respond. This is the way that I work, so we'll see. I'm going to say, okay, so instructions for app generation. So app instructions. So I think we're doing it here, right? Okay, here we are. Yeah, that's the app instructions. And then please follow the prompt. Okay, you'll want to parse. Okay, so I think, okay, let's see here. And hit Shift Enter, I'm gonna paste here. And then what else we're gonna say? Okay, so this is actually just extracting the volcanic data. And then I'm gonna say, also say, now help me build a dashboard app. Here's some guidelines. Okay, cool. So what is this? Oh, okay, cool. Wow, this is epic. I forgot I did all this stuff. Okay, you need to build a React app. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna take out the Claude part and then we're gonna do this here. Now I need you to, this is a pretty epic prompt. And so we can run it here in Google. Run it here. Okay. As I'll add the database stuff later. Okay, cool. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can build this. This is going to be massive. This is a huge prompt. And like, we'll see how it does. You know, there's a lot of instructions. There's a lot of there's an example report. And if this model is as intelligent as it is, and if it's going to think through all these things, I'm really curious to see it actually go through all of these different steps and see if it's actually on par with what Sonnet 4.5 did here, right? So Sonnet 4.5 did the first step of parsing the data from the USGS website. So basically, if you're, for those who are trying to understand, it took all of this data from the volcano updates, which are happening daily, and it's actually turning it into a structured data. So this is what you want to do when you get data from an external source, is try to extract that information into some type of repeatable format. So then you can display it to your UI. And so this is the first step, is formatting the data, and you can see the forecast, recent episode, and basically my prompts that I have before it tell the language model how to do that extraction up here. And I've already had those already done based off a bunch of research and things earlier. And then now basically down here is more of hey, here's what I want to present for the different UI types these are the different actual values that you need to look for to present to the user to create a dashboard, right? So that's kind of what that prompt is. And then we're going to see Google Gemini start to do things. It looks like it error out, so I could say retry, and we'll see how this goes. Okay. So yeah. Yo, hello, how's it going? Antigravity needs a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. Yeah, I would love to hear what's missing with it. I wasn't impressed. Definitely not better than Cursor. It's not normal for Gemini to be able to do certain code length without ping. I don't really know. Yeah, we'll see what's up. I'm not, Ray, I'm upset with you not using Droid. Let it show us anti-gravity already. Okay. I'll get onto that right now. I wanted to kick off a few things because you can see how some of this stuff just takes forever to run. So I'm just kind of setting this whole thing up here right now. So while this is going, we have so far, the cursor thing that's going as well for plan mode, right? This is looking for its thing here for my prompt. We have the volcano app that we're currently reproducing right now from Sonnet 4.5. Is the Google Gemini 3 thing going to be better than what Sonnet 4.5 is doing already? We're giving it a really complicated prompt, and it's kind of really barfing right now. on generating this stuff. So I'm just going to keep retrying here because obviously this is launch day and this thing's just going crazy right now for this. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And then the next one I wanted to take a look at was to take a look at it inside of, oh man, okay, so this is taking forever. Antigravity. So Antigravity, I've already downloaded the app and we're just going to go ahead and import from Cursor. And we're just going to do Tokyo Night looks pretty cool. Or dark looks pretty, actually we'll just stick with dark. So AI assisted development, agent driven development. So terminal, yeah, we're just going to leave the defaults. I feel like this would be nice. And then normal, install 7 extensions. Sure, yep, okay. Sign in with Google. All right, this is the fun part. So I'm going to do this sign in with Google thing. It's going to pop me into these like different anti-gravity stuff. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sign in right now. Okay. Always allow. Okay, great. So now I've authenticated, I've signed in, and we're back. All right, so anti-gravity, am I going to give up my firstborn child? Sure. All right, cool. So here we are. We have the anti-gravity app, and this is basically their agentic interface, and I think it's a fork of VS Code, if you know what I mean. And it looks just like Windsurf, not gonna lie. Oh, this is funny, actually. So we have a browser preview, we have editor specific settings, we have our settings here, we have a change log, and we're currently using what? Let me go ahead and check for updates. There's probably some updates. Okay, just making sure everything's set up. And then there's like an extensions thing. So I think it's going through and literally just installing extensions right now. So I'm gonna let it do its thing there on the sidelines while we go ahead and just kind of do the things here. Google Gemini. Okay, so then we have V0. So right, try Gemini 3, V0. Okay, try now. Okay. So one of the apps that I wanted to make is this. I have a thing called X Status. And this is the thing where I'm going to try Droid in. And what's interesting about this app here for X is you have your friends, but the whole thing is like, somebody said it would be so cool if somebody can do like, year 2000 or whatever it was when AOL Instant Messenger was alive. But one of the cool concepts was this concept of a buddy list and managing a buddy list. So you can create like buddy lists, like celebrities or sports stars, and track them here. So you can have your close friends, if you want to, okay, yeah, LeBron James is my close friend. This person is no longer not, and like Dwayne Johnson, he's cool. So hit save. So then you'll have your friends list basically here. So what's cool about this app is whenever they post an update, you'll actually see them live update here from whatever they're posting on Twitter. And if you want to update your status, you can go ahead and do something like this. So it kind of becomes a meta app within X. So I thought this would be a really cool app for X to do. Like I made this literally in V0. Why can't we take this and connect it to the API? I just got access to the X API pay per use, and I have $500 in credits that they awarded me because I submitted this app to say, hey, I want to actually turn this into a real app. So why not try to see if we can use Google Gemini 3 to help us out here? And if it's supposed to be really cool at interactive design, can we take this and make it like the next level, right? I think that'll be really, really cool. And so that'll be really fun. So I think this is where I'm going to reserve Droid, and this is how I'm going to do it. So far, I think I've cloned the app down, and I'm going to try this out as well. So we have a lot of stuff going on. So we have the Volcano app. We're going to check in on that right now because I think it keeps dying. So I'm going to keep retrying here. So it needs to rebuild this to include the new full component tree styling and the data spread. So I think it's got something going on. I don't know if there's anything to preview at all. And we're just going to let it do its thing because I think it's still got way more work to do here. And so, yeah, it's building it. It's probably just timing out a lot. So we have that there. And then we have quite a bit going on. We have anti-gravity that we're taking a look at as well. That's currently setting up all the plugins. This is currently free to try. And there's like an agent model access to not only Gemini 3 Pro, but Claude 4.5 Sonnet, GPT open source as well. All right, so let's see. We got that. Let's see. This is the app that we're trying to rebuild here. And let's see, still going through. And it's going to just rebuild our index. So this is Gemini 3 currently going through and building here. And what else have we got here? So I think there's a lot going on. All right, cool. So let's see what's going on with our plan for the 8-bit stuff. We're back at AnimeLeak. And now with AnimeLeak right here, we're going to just take a look at the plan. So based off my code base, here's what I found. Your refactor is successfully implemented. The app is using the prompts from Convex themes table. So the front end passes the theme ID and then generates this. Okay. So the changing the hard-coded 8-bit prompt constant won't automatically update the live app because the database is already seeded with the old version. You'll need to run the migration to update the database row. Okay. So I could not find, okay. So to proceed with the update, I have a few quick questions. Clarification on Nano Banana. Is it a specific internal name for the 8-bit theme, or do you mean that you switched to a different Google Gemini model? Okay. So Nano Banana was the code name for the Gemini model I'm using to generate images. All right, cool. So that is already set up with the Vercel AI gateway. So I think for the 8-bit file stun, do you have a specific vibe in mind? Do you mind replacing? Okay, so I think, so the activations here, if the prompts are currently live on the database, can we just build a quick way to edit the prompts in the files in the admin dashboard? Because I don't feel like going into the database and manually editing there. We should just be able to build a quick window to edit the prompts there. Okay. And so, yeah, I'm going to see if I can figure this out here and plan our next moves. So right now I'm using basically Gemini 3 to do some of the planning. And hopefully this plan will be, well-rounded, and then we can just have it go do its thing. And I'm going to be really curious to see, first of all, like, is it going to be leveraging all the hooks and things in my actual app? Here we see it kind of read through all the different files, and we're basically using Cursor here. So Cursor has its own agentic way of figuring this stuff out. And then we're going to go ahead and see what's going on with that there. So I'm currently focused on how prompts are managed within the system. Okay, this is cool. So, all right. So that's doing its thing there and developing functionality. Let's go back to the studio here because there's an error actually running the code. So we're going to retry. Okay, retry. Okay. So yeah, I imagine this thing is just getting slammed on AI Studio, which is part of the reason why I wanted to use the API. So for this X status thing, let's see. I think I have an app already running. So let me see, terminal. Let's see. I'm going to try terminate, please. CD workspace ls x2. I think it's x2, right? X status. CD x dash status. Let's see. Cursor dot. Okay. I think I have this app here running already locally. Bun dev. So here we go. Okay. Bun dev. Okay. Localhost 3000. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So this is the app. I already have it cloned locally from V0. And for my X status thing, I'm going to see if I can have it basically use this in Droid. So I'm going to do that right now. So now that I have this pulled up, X status. So I did a whole bunch of things. I'm going to use X status here. Okay, so I want to come up with like a mega plan in Droid for this thing here. So I'm just vibing right now. Let's see. All right. So if there's any comments, I will get to you shortly. I'm just kind of super vibing right now. Droid, Droid. So to configure this inside of Droid, what we're going to go ahead and do is go to /model, and then in /model here, I'm just going to make sure my windows look good here. So in /model, we're going to go down where it says Gemini Pro, and this is basically half the amount of credits. So, and I'm going to change it over to dynamic. For me, I feel like the reasoning effort dynamic should probably be the best way here because I don't want to really go high to low and also just use all the different types of things here. Droid is pretty smart. It's my favorite agentic coder right now. And I prefer this over Cursor because I can literally just go in one session forever. Like there's somebody whose name is Coriolis. You probably see him here in the chat. That guy's gone through like 40 million tokens in one session using Droid. And it's still flowing, which is kind of insane, if you know what I mean. And they have this really great way of doing context compression, and it should flow here. So we're going to test out the Gemini 3.0 Pro model here. I'm going to hit Shift Tab a couple times, and we're going to go to spec mode. And so this is what I want to do with my spec. I'm going to say, I want to transform this prototype and make it very real. I'm going to hook it up to the X API So you're going to have to look up the latest documentation there. And I want you to use ref MCP and exa code MCP to look up that documentation and help us come up with the data models that will connect from the backend to the UI. As far as a backend, I'm going to want to set up and install Convex. So Convex will be my provider of choice. And then for the authentication, we're also going to use Clerk for authentication. So that should be it. And I'm just going to let this thing do its like thinking here. I'm going to hit enter. And so I'm going to go MCP, just see what MCPs I have actually up and configured just to, whoops. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay. It's doing its spec thinking here. All right. So yeah. Okay. So what it's going to do, it's taking my yapping here and I'm going to do some research for this app and see if I can hook it up to the X API because there's a lot going on. Xcode. Okay. I should have actually checked my output here. So I'm going to go, yes, always allow for low impacts. Yes, allow all. Okay, cool. So this is using web search exa. Okay. Actually, what I'm going to do is hit escape. And what I'm going to do is hit escape again. Let's see, escape twice, I think. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to actually fix everything here. So I want to hook it up to the X API. So prototype and the latest documentation. I'm going to use ref MCP right here. Ref MCP ref MCP for search and exa code MCP to look up documentation. Okay, yeah. So as far as the backend, yes, and then not clerk, it's clerk for authentication. Okay, and then go back to plan mode. Okay. All right, cool. So hit enter here. All right. So now that I've done that there, I don't know what it's gonna do. In fact, I might just start a new prompt here because I think this is totally borked. I'm just gonna copy and paste this. Copy, paste, /new. Okay. Exit droid. I totally messed this up. Okay. So paste. And we're going to go ahead and go. Before I do that, actually, MCP. I'm going to check this. So I have the ref and exa and cool. I have all the ones I want connected. All right. So I'm going to paste these in again. /new and then paste. Perfect. Cool. So now it's going to take a look at this plan and we're going to have it keep going here. So that's going to be doing its thing. All right, fam, let's see what's going on. Okay, so now that we got this going on, we have a lot of stuff going on right now. We're going to let this do its research right now. So it's going to use Gemini 3 Pro inside of Droid. It's going to use the ref MCP for search. And it's going to use exa code. So those two are my favorite MCPs. I have some videos coming out on that. That's going to be edited. That'll walk you through those configurations. They're my favorite MCPs right now. I'm usually not a huge fan of MCPs, but a lot of times these documentation researches can fill up a lot of the context window. And in this case, these guys are extremely context efficient. So they hand that off to their own processes on the server. They grab what they need depending on the context that gets fed to the language model, and they just return back the relevant information they need for planning. So this is, for me, the biggest cheat code because now you can stay relevant and keep your language model's intelligence layer here and not have to worry about, creating new chats and handing off your documentation in new chats in very surgical ways. With Droid, it's just pretty much all in one session and we can just keep rolling, which is super duper efficient. And I find this to be really, really nice. So I'm going to say yes, approve, allow all. So now we're going to let it do its thing here. So it's going to explore the current structure, research documentation for data models for like a user, a tweet. It's going to use that tool, research convex setup and configuration for clerk. And so I'm going to make sure, I think I have the GitHub repo already set up. Okay, yeah, it's already set up. Cool. So this is going to do its thing there. And we're basically going to try to see if we can make this app real, connect it to the real X API, do the authentication, see if I can actually make my buddy lists very similar to this, and see if I can actually post things here. Because that would be really, really cool. If my friends can track like when they're updating status and so forth, I'd be able to kind of basically make my own buddy list for X, which would be super cool. So I can create a new list called like YOLO, and I should be able to kind of do this and then say, okay, I only want, these people here. And so like for my YOLO list, I'm going to have like Dwayne Johnson, LeBron James, and like Elon Musk or something, right? So like these three are the crazy ones or something like that. So I go down here, I can see one of them is currently online and it's Elon Musk, and the other two are currently offline. And Elon Musk posted 7 minutes ago, so that's how I know that something's online and so forth. So this is going to be a really fun app for it to build. And we're using currently Droid for this. So that's this one here. And that's going to go through its operations. I'm just going to say yes to allow all, and I'll let it do its thing here. So this is going to look up these different things in parallel, and that's what it's got there. Wow. Okay. So let me see if I can catch up with the comments a little bit. I'm a little bit behind, and make sure we get everything going. And before I do that, I just want to make sure that this is currently kicked off. So I will finish the implementation and I will reconstruct the file to, okay, add the missing. Okay. So did it do it? I'm just curious. Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay. This is cool. Look at, oh, let's full screen this. Dang. Can I, oh my God. Look at this. Google, it did a mobile view. I didn't have to tell it about mobile view. This is crazy. Imagine, okay, so imagine giving Google Gemini 3 Pro to an intern at some US government agency and just tell them to like vibe code these dashboards. Look at this. You saw all the prompts I did. You saw all the data I gave it. You saw all this background of stuff I gave it. It just kept going. And eventually it made this mobile view, like regular view. And like, imagine filling out forms from like the DMV or whatever, just all now like Gemini powered. Damn. Because this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted like the alert level. I want the activation code because I want to know if I should fly, over tonight, or tomorrow night. And like, it's even telling us about the current status. The Kilauea summit eruption is paused. And here's the inflation trend. Like, I have no clue what these mean, but then eventually, like, the only thing I know as a user is like, okay, this is slowing down and this is probably not going to erupt, soonish or something like that, right? So here's the actual things that you need to know. Like, this is a good window. The eruption is currently paused, but the volcano was reinflating. So another spectacular fountain event is expected between these dates, right? So that's easier than reading through this entire like whole thing and then trying to like translate like whether these past events from the past week of monitoring in Kilauea are going to go off, because you have to follow these trends. You can kind of see it reinflating between here. This is the 17th. You can kind of see the best availability and also like the cumulative moments. And then like, there's all this cool nerdy stuff that you have to do. And I'm not familiar with this stuff. I'm not a geologist. Some of my friends that you just can't just pull up because, you may not actually get where you need to go. And like, look at this. Like, this is like a geologist, like nerd's dream. I think, I'm not in that realm. I just want a simple website that's going to like look beautiful, not only on desktop, but on mobile, because I'm always on the go. And at the very top, like it, sheesh, like this is crazy. let me catch up with the comments. This is really interesting. Yeah, this is wild. Okay. Gemini is great about being responsive. I had no clue, man. Like this, I'm not gonna lie. This is Caldera Rim is closed. Yo, this is fire, bro. Damn. The gas and VOG. Okay, hazards. Sheesh. Dang. Yo, this is crazy. Okay, so there's a checkpoint. I will finish. Okay, with this looks amazing. Okay, so can you hook this up to some real data feeds so it'll update itself without me giving you the relevant sites? And then I'll give it some of the websites. Here are some of the places I look. Let's see. Because if it does this, I swear, here are some of the places I look at. And then just give it I'm going to give it all the URLs here that I go to. I'm like, here's the stuff that I go to. I basically don't want to keep checking all these websites manually. Please do my work. Yeah. So, okay, let's go. All right. I think we're done, right? So we're going to send the prompt. So if I wanted to change anything, apparently I should be able to annotate the app by going here and then selecting different things and prompting it. So like, I want to make this like whatever, flashy, or whenever my mouse hovers around doing whatever. But I just am taking the data from a simple US government website, I'm reparsing it and making a dashboard that makes it really relevant of like, should I be heading out? Should I not? When's a good window? What's the most important information I need to see as a visitor? And this is kind of what's populated here. So like, I'm super impressed. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that's what's up. I find Gemini not as chatty as GPT-5.1. That's interesting. Sam Altman pushing. Y'all play too much. Gemini 3 has the most important skill, which is good taste. Actually, that's a really good point because having good taste is actually kind of a big deal. And that's what's been really hard is because a lot of these just show like the purple UI or they just don't really know what they're doing sometimes. And like it gets you part of the way there, but you have to spend extra energy prompting. And that's kind of weak. And there's also like people who are using the GLM model. They're saying that the GLM Chinese model that's currently hosted, that you can actually have better designs and so forth. And so people are actually using that as their sort of like front end designer. And so if this Google Gemini thing cooks as good as it does, low key, I think a lot of people are just going to use this one because of how reliable and how fast it is. So we'll retry again. So yeah, I'm excited for DeepThink. So yeah, DeepThink I think is coming a little bit later in the coming days, a week or something like that. So can I give a quick recap? So OS Storm, a quick recap, basically is we're trying this out right now in a lot of different ways. So inside of Cursor, inside of Droid, inside of AI Studio, and then eventually V0 as well. There's a lot of different things that are going on right now. Obviously, there's lots of rate limits. So we're going to see this kind of unfold. And this session is really just meant for us to just vibe live. So I want you to pull up as well, pull up your IDE. We're going to just vibe. Like that's the whole point of this, is to vibe together. Share what you're seeing so far. Have you been using Antigravity? Is that amazing or not? What have you been building? And let me know. I think it'd be really interesting to see what you guys are cooking with. So yeah, that'll be really cool. So Ultra or Pro. Shout out Design Arena. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is still thinking here. What's it thinking about? I don't think it's going to show us what it's thinking. Oh, wow. It's actually thinking pretty hard. So making, okay, retry. Dang. Okay. Also, no, I don't know if you checked, but the Fal AI has a sticky banner with Nano Banana 2 coming soon? Bro, you guys are not playing right now. Fal? Seriously? Bro, Google, I swear. Bruh, at the very top. Hey, this. Okay, Google, you can't play with me like this right now. This model was like actually getting people in trouble because they were posting some crazy stuff online. I'm not trying to post that right here because I'm not about that. But like, y'all could be doing some insane stuff with this Nano Banana 2 stuff. All right, so if you don't know, I'm with AnimeLeak.com. This is what I'm using. I'm using the Nano Banana model, and I'm trying to basically make some more prompts. Because right now, as an admin, I made Halloween mode live. So this is what I'm doing for Halloween mode. I can enable it through here. So if I do 8-bit retro, I can turn this on, and this will be available for users live. So if you go to AnimeLeak.com as a user, I'm using convex, which is really cool. So I can take images. If I turn on the Halloween mode right now, this will actually pop up this little button here. See, it just does it live. If you're logged in, you'll see this live. And so that's what's cool about AnimeLeak and using convex is it's real time. So as an admin, I can make changes and everything gets approved right on the fly. So as I make new prompts and drop new stuff, I don't have to redeploy my app. All I have to do is just make a new entry and it goes into the database and everything kind of syncs pretty much instantly. And so I can turn off Halloween mode as well. So if I wanted to drop an image in here, for example, like I go to my desktop, I have like some sample images. I'll show you right now what the current 8-bit thing looks like. This is currently live. So if you go there, you'll be able to use this live right now. I'm going to turn it on. Whoops. Let me turn back on again. So here's the 8-bit mode. I'm going to refresh here real quick. Okay, so here's 8-bit retro. So we're going to do this and we're going to try to drop in like 8-bit retro to my dog. So we're going to see what happens. And we're going to see why this is a problem right now. So let me get rid of this comment real quick here. Okay, so we're going to see it build. And so the way I built this using all Vibecoded, by the way. And this is done using, I think I deployed the app on Vercel. I'm using Vercel Blob for the storage. And then this is using all the Next.js 15 optimizations, Convex for the backends for all the syncing and everything like that. So you can see it turned that scarf. I'll show you the original image. here into like this 8-bit version with these little coins and stuff. So this is cool, but I think this is kind of overdone, and I feel like we can kind of make it a little more classier. And that's kind of why I handed this off earlier in a prompt. And this is what I'm going to go ahead and do an update. So if you want to do it, what's cool about it is you can actually share this link with your friends. So if you just share it with your friends, then they'll be able to kind of see it here as well, and you can share it online. So this is pretty cool. This is like a nice little way to share things. And so this prompt is currently live, and this is what I got going on here. So you can select between different modes, standard mode, Halloween mode, and all that stuff. And we're going to come back to that. And so I'm taking a look at AnimeLeak, and as of now, I think what I told it to do is, oh yeah, this is a problem with my GitHub repo. I'm going to minimize this one. And over here, what were we doing with AnimeLeak? Okay, we're going to keep going with the status. Allow. Okay. So this documentation research, it's doing its thing. And in AnimeLeak, what are we doing over here? So we're doing an admin. Yeah, so this is what we're using inside of Cursor. So we were taking a look at AnimeLeak for Cursor and trying to basically build a plan here. So add a theme editor modal to the admin dashboard to allow easy modifications of prompts, specifically enable updating 8-bit prompt. Okay, I don't think so, but like update admin. Okay, so the modal verification. Okay, so let's go ahead. This plan looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can build it. So instead of using Sonnet 4.5 to build, because we've been using Gemini 3 Pro, I'm gonna change this up here from that to Gemini 3 Pro. So this is gonna allow us to build this app using the agent, and I'm gonna see how it does basically. So we'll see how this really comes out. And then if it works, then we're just gonna go ahead and ship it. There is an issue because GitHub was down earlier, and I'll see if I can actually ship this live. If not, I'll just have this locally until it comes back up, and I'll sync it right back up to my main branch and stuff like that. Can we try the CLI? Because they also updated the CLI. Oh, that's right. So yeah, let me go ahead and see if I can get that installed too. So Gemini CLI. So I think to get this installed, all we have to do is just run, I think this command, npx globally brew install. Okay. Preview, nightly. Okay. So I'm going to do instantly with npx. Okay. I'm going to try this one. No installation required. Oh, I see. I'm going to install globally. Yeah. Terminal. So I'm going to go back over here in the terminal. I'm just going to open up a new terminal window. And then just go ahead and install this here. All right. Okay. So here we go. When you exit AI Studio, your project will be available on Antigravity. Oh, no way. You serious, bro? Oh, I want to try that out. That's really cool. So, dude, I love the comments. So here we are in AI Studio. If I exit right now, if I go back to start, it should show up. Oh yeah, so here's my app, right? So now that it's showing up in AI Studio, I should be able to now see it in Antigravity. Okay, let's go back to start. This is crazy. So let's go to Antigravity right now. And I think right now it basically just installed my extensions. And then I'm gonna just refresh. I'm gonna quit Antigrav and check for updates first, because they're probably pushing updates. No, okay. So let me just go to Antigravity and then reopen this here. Okay. So how does this work? Antigravity, select a model. Okay. And open agent manager. Sure. And I have agent manager over here. So playground, workspaces. How does this work? Agent manager, open workspace. Open new remote workspace. Open setup window. No. I want to see if you can show me how to get there. I'd love to know how to do this project. Open clone repository, select model, workspaces. Yeah, because I don't see a way to get that thing. Workflows, mentions. Yeah, this is not really that intuitive. Start conversation. Because this is already settings. Start conversation, inbox, workspaces. Open new remote workspace. Yeah, I don't have that. Yeah. It gives you the option to when you install the ID. Yeah, I already did. I already have it installed. Let's see. Configure. Okay. I don't know how to do that. Docs? Read our docs. No, I don't think. Remote Explorer. Select the model. Okay, we got it. No. Open folder. How do I... If anyone knows, please let me know. Like, help me figure out these steps because I want to new playground. Okay, next. Welcome to the agent manager. Sure. Let me just open local folder, open remote folder. So this will be a SSH connection to a different workspace, which is what I don't want. If I go browser, knowledge. Okay. I don't. Okay. Install extensions to your browser. So yeah, okay. That's the later thing. The agent has not generated any knowledge items yet. Okay. Yeah. I don't have that. So yeah, that'd be cool. Is Gemini 3 better than Claude Code? I don't know. It should have just appeared in workspaces. Yeah, I don't see it yet here in workspaces. It's probably just a bug, to be honest. So yeah, we're going to see that because I am signed into the same account, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And yeah, Antigravity. Right. Let's just see. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see it in my workspace, bro. So yeah, I think there's just a bug. That's what it is. But at least I got the app. I think that's really cool. What I'm going to see if I can do is maybe generate a new app from that. So this is really amazing. Okay, cool. So if I am in here, one of the anti-gravity apps, maybe I'll just start a new session. Okay, so I'm just gonna start here, planning. Let's go planning. Okay, fast, okay. So I want to make an app for the canoe club. So I am part of a 6-man outrigger canoe club, and there are a lot of members who want to go paddling for a certain day. And the person who is currently in charge has to manage all these emails and figure out who's ready to go on the boat or not. Part of the requirements for this is that the steersman is required for one person out of the 6. And the rest of the people will sign up by saying that they are available for a given day or a given time. And we can just think of this more as a concept as a boat that you need a steersman and you need 5 other people to go along. And then the person who is the admin can figure out what time to schedule this boat. Usually maybe we can think about a flexible time, but for now we can just do something generic as a boat and then figure out the time and schedule later, or that can be controlled by the admin, whoever's managing this boat. So there are a couple different views here. There are the view that we need for the users, because all they need to know is whether they can sign up or not. And if a boat is currently available. If there isn't a boat available, they can sign up for the wait list for that boat. So that way they can go on and be available. The second part of it is for that user, we need to understand a user profile. Are they a steers person or are they a person who's just going to be paddling? So that's really important to know. From the admin side of view, they're the ones who are going to configure the boat with the steers person and then see the current list of available people. And if someone is canceling from not going out that day, they should be able to ping the next person and then put them and assign them to the boat. And we should have a landing page of some sort so that the users can see what's going on. And then the admin can go into the admin view and see that as well. Okay, so let's see. I just yapped a whole bunch of stuff and I've given it all these requirements. So I'm going to give this to Antigravity, and we're currently in a planning phase. And that's a really big app. And I'm just going to see if it can actually vibe code it here using Antigravity. So we're going to let it do its thing here. I'm going to give this same exact prompt to V0. And I'm curious to see, can V0 take this prompt and really just start to act on it really fast? And what will be really interesting here is V0 has its own access to things here. So we're going to see if their platform is much more stable than currently what's going on with AI Studio. So I'm going to see if I can find my V0 thing, because I've been kind of opening all these different windows. And then see how our other stuff is going already. So I'm going to go to V0. I'm going to go to new chat, and I'm going to go in here because this is a pretty big app. So I'm just going to say paste. So this is all of the stuff that we yapped. We're going to use the Gemini 3 preview here. I think there's no, yeah, sure. Why not? What are the instructions? Plan mode. Okay, cool. So it's already going to be in a plan mode, and I'm just going to go. So now in V0, we should basically watch it cook in essence. So this is going to be really, really fun. Man, this is going to be amazing to see if it can actually generate this app. based off all these requirements that I had in my head. And I just literally just yapped it. So it wants to install Supabase. I'm going to say skip for now. I don't think we need, I don't wish to take any action right now because I actually use, my preferred database is actually Convex. And so that's kind of, I don't need to say that right now, but it immediately jumped the gate to that. Implementation for the Canoe app. So this is really cool. So V0 is currently in a plan mode right now, and we're using the Gemini 3 model inside of V0 because that's currently new. And let me just kind of make this bigger for y'all. So we're seeing it going through its planning phases right now. So it's taking all the stuff that I yapped into it and trying to come up with like a more concise, structured way of shipping the app. And this is my favorite way to build apps. It's I just kind of yap in requirements, and then there's some type of AI system that can take that unstructured information and try to structure it into something that looks logical. And then you feed that into a coding system or an agent that then start to do the implementation phases. So that's going to be really cool. So now we're going to be comparing what does V0 do and then what does Antigravity do in the same thing. So theoretically, Antigravity has more tools in its tool belt that's different from the AI Studio. So it should be more enhanced as far as an agent. And if we wanted to, we can probably start fresh with the new project inside of Droid and maybe inside of Cursor if you want to. Let me know if you want to see that right now. Go ahead and drop that in the chat. I'm going to see what's going on. Use Lovable, guys. It's good. I actually don't like Lovable. I actually prefer V0. This is why I'm using V0. Anti-gravity rate limits, me too. Okay, dang. So people are hitting rate limits. Okay, we'll see. All right, cool. So let's see what's going on. All right, so let's see. So we have my rules, right? We have the regular paddlers can sign up for boats. We have steers people, so they require, this is a required role, and this is one per boat. And the admin manages the boats. And then this is the key functionality. So there's a user view, there's a user profile view, right, for the designation, and then the admin view that can create the boats, assign steers people. Like, I like that it's been able to capture this information about what's going on. All these apps, by the way, are real apps that I actually need in real life. So part of the revolution that we're seeing here is that if AI Studio is as good as it is, or Gemini 3, if Gemini 3 is as good as it is, we're probably going to start seeing the personal app revolution, right? I feel like we were trying to get there in the last 6 months, but I think 2026 is going to come in heavy with Gemini 3 and all of your favorite app builders, whether it's the Lovables, whether it's the Replets, whether it's the V0s, whatever your app thing of choice is. If this model performs well inside of V0, if it performs well inside of Cursor, if it performs well in these other coding agents, we're getting all these different perspectives of this model operating in these. Like, this is literally the first day. They probably had a couple weeks to integrate it. This will be very, very interesting. And I'm really excited for 2026 for this. So that's going to be what's up. Proposed architecture. This looks so good. So we're going to have a landing page. We're going to have a dashboard. We're going to have a user profile and an admin. This is great. So we're going to have a data structure to mock data. This is really great. This is why I didn't want to put a database in first. You've chosen not to add integrations or just do client-side state management. Great. Local storage and mock data for the boats. Perfect. Here's the components. It's going to build a boat card, a user profile. This is amazing. I could not have explained this more beautifully. It took my instruction, just made this really beautiful plan. V0, damn. Okay, does this plan align with your vision? Should I proceed? Yeah, let's cook. So let's go see. So now I'm basically just telling it to go. What's interesting about V0 is the first setting that had enabled when we had the prompt tools was plan mode. And after it did that, by default, it kind of starts this way. Now it actually confirms you want to exit plan mode and start implementing the code. And so that's where V0 now pops in. So V0 has made a ton of updates and changes. And if you want to check it out, I'm going to share my referral link up here. That way we can kind of get to, I guess I can earn $200 a month. Why not? Since I'm talking about it, might as well have people try it out. So I think you get $20. Yeah. So each sign up earns you $5 in credits. When they subscribe, you both earn $20 in credits. Hell yeah. That's really cool. So if you sign up using this code, which I put there, then you can kind of do that thing. I got to answer this quick phone call and let me see if everything's okay. Okay, my bad. So I'm going to let this do its thing. I need to head downstairs to go ahead and let my friend in because he forgot the keys. But I'm going to say, oh, I don't know. Can we get rid of this screen? I don't know what's going on right now. I think, okay. So hopefully this thing will just keep going. Okay, it did. Okay, cool. So what it's doing right now is it's doing its stuff here. And I'm going to let V0 do its thing. I'll be right back. I need to go let my friend... Yo, Gemini 3 is cooking inside of V0. I am going to check this out. Somebody says Droid and Cursor, please. I'm going to get right into that right after this in the next segment. I need to go let my friend in right now, and I'll be right back. But I'm going to let this window keep going, and I appreciate your guys' patience. I'll be right back. Thanks. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so while this is going, we're going to pop back in real quick to Cursor. What's your thoughts on Gemini 3? So far, it's cooking so far. Just curious to see how it's going to do inside of Cursor because we were doing this stuff with AnimeLeak. So yeah, with AnimeLeak, just trying to have it build a quick modal. And here's what it did. Has been successfully added. So now that it's currently, this was pretty fast actually. So we're going to go ahead and see if I can just run everything. Bunx convex dev and then bun dev here. Okay. Currently running on port 3000. So let's see. Let's see what's going on. So now we're back on AnimeLeak/admin. So we're taking a look at the changes that the Cursor agent did. So now I should be able to edit the prompt here. Ooh. Oh, okay. Wow. This really cleaned it up nicely. Wow. I like this. Wow. Display order. This is nice. Edit. Wow. Oh, that's cool. That's really, really cool. Whoa. Actually, that's clean in one shot. This prompt is sent directly to the AI model. Be specific about transformation and rules. Okay. So this is what it did. It says description is this, and this is in here. So if I go into my actual AnimeLeak app and I go to data, let me go to themes. So in my themes, I actually have the prompts here. So for 8-bit retro is here. And if I go to this ID, I should be able to see everything about the prompt. So in the prompt itself, this is the actual prompt down here below. And you can kind of see where it says analyze the photo, identify XYZ. And so in the app here, in my local app, I should have it here too. So I can just test this out because it should show up in real time. Analyze YOLO, and I hit save changes. So this should write it to the database, and I should see these up here live. So analyze the, okay, let me just refresh this because this is all on the back end. So yeah, here we go. The prompt has been updated. You can kind of see it here. So it's analyze, yeah. So if I change this back, I'm just kind of playing around with the editing here. So if I go to here now, analyze Ray, just playing around, saving, and cool. And so here we go. This value should update. I think I'm having an issue because I'm in the development environment and it's not like, yeah. So here we go. And then if I update in here, okay, save. This should update up back here. Yeah, perfect. Wow, this is cool. So now I have a much better way to actually add themes or edit themes and stuff. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is give it this current system prompt and have it give me some updates here. So I'm going to, okay, this looks great. Wow. Say, wow, this looks great. I want you to help me improve the following prompt. The problem is that it doesn't follow the guidelines and adds too many random elements that aren't fun and don't follow the prompt guidelines. Give this to me in Markdown so I can enter it in the database. Okay. Okay, cool. So now, okay, so what we've been able to do is I just basically wanted to add a quick component using Google Gemini 3, and I used Cursor here. And for those who are just kind of tuning in, I just told a little bit about my app idea with AnimeLeak. I have an admin view where I actually can turn stuff on and off, and it was able to read through the different files in my app and understand what was going on. And then it basically just built a quick admin theme editor for me in basically like one prompt. And then now I've asked it, we started off in plan mode. It made a good plan for this. And it's like, it's a pretty simple and straightforward implementation, nothing super duper crazy. But then I think I'm going to try to see if I can go crazier with my landing page, because the landing page does need a lot of love. And that's what we're probably going to get to next in here. So I'm going to go here, and I think this is all of the markdown. Here's an improved version. Copy this markdown block directly, and let's see if we can get this here. So I'm going to go edit. I'm going to go paste. Oh, it didn't give me the full output. Dang, Cursor, what the heck? Theme editing. Can you write that to a file? Can you write the prompt to a file because it got cut off? That's weird. So Cursor just cut off the prompt. Like it didn't write the full. I guess Cursor has a limitation in the actual output that they can only output so much here versus like writing it to a file. That's really interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Huh. Okay, so now I have the 8-bit prompt text. So this is, okay. I'm going to copy all this and then paste it over here. Okay, goal, okay. Save changes. Okay, and then let me just go ahead and enable this and then go back to my app. Localhost 3000. And I'm going to try to see if I can do the 8-bit retro here and then see if I could try the same image again with this one. My doggy. Yeah, this is the one. So we'll see it do its thing. Antigravity didn't give me any warning. GPT-3 high just stopped cooking. Oh no, that's weird. I saw Gemini. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So in many use cases, in my use case with Gemini Web, I saw 3 hallucinating a lot, mentioning variables that are not in my code when given a GitHub repo and a reported fact check. That's interesting. Sadly, it doesn't look like a replacement for GPT-5 Pro. That is interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. I was hoping that, I'm wondering what your guys' experience is too. And I'm curious to see, because I know you've been using a lot to like, code your app. Are you using it via the API? Are you using it inside of Cursor? I think you're using it on the web, right? So like, is it just the AI Studio? And I think right now there's a lot of problems too with like rate limits and stuff like that. So that'd be really interesting. Does this have token limits like the AI ones where you need to new prompt window after certain? Yes, typically you would need to do a new window. It does have a 1,000,000 token context window, but that's kind of is what it is right there. Yeah. If that's to me, it was a fresh window where I was hallucinating. Whoa, that's crazy. Like wow. Okay. That's really wild. I think that's not good. So yeah, this doesn't really come back with the thing that I was looking for the 8-bit image. So that's really weird. So that's not 8-bit retro. Okay. So what I'm going to tell Cursor is like, okay, that isn't 8. That doesn't generate 8-bit. The 8-bit 8-bit retro stuff. Okay. So I don't even know if the actual, yeah, because I don't know if the actual thing's being applied right now. That's weird. Let's see. Yeah, it has 8-bit retro. And my prompts should be like the 8-bit retro here because we have it. Yeah. No floating UI, no faces. Yeah. Huh. Okay, so for those who don't know, if I go to localhost, I want to see if I can have Gemini 3 inside of Cursor go crazy with my landing page. So while we work on the prompting for that, I'm going to create a new plan and see if it can kind of take this landing page and help me with like this whole thing here. Because so far we got off to a really, really good start. We have some really fun UI that I got going. This is all made in Sonnet 4.5 and I was using Droid for this, but I want to see how far can we take this inside of Cursor to, okay, here we go. This is like a weird, yeah, that's kind of weird. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and see if we can kind of help do the landing page here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just, I'm going to sort of kind of dump this out, say keep file, and I'm going to keep everything. Okay. Keep everything. Approve all. Okay. So for the editor, I'm going to go into here. I'm going to say, stage these changes. And I think I currently have a feature branch, right? No, I don't. Okay. Okay. Make another thing. Get tower. Tower. Okay. So AnimeLeak, I'm going to create a new branch. Feature 8, Gemini 3 vibes. Okay. Check out this branch. That way, I'm going to stash the changes. That way, any of the code changes that I'm doing, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to create a branch and all the changes that I have so far are just going to land here. And if I don't like them, I just throw them all away. That way it doesn't go into production and break my whole app. So added admin dashboard, admin editor for prompts. Okay. All right. So we got that there. I'm going to create a new plan now. I'm going to get rid of this here and I'm going to go ahead and go hit new agent. And so we're going to start a new agent window. I'm going to get rid of some of these guys here. I'm going to stop the app and then I'm going to get rid of that and get rid of this here. So we're going to like go see if we can make a fire landing page right now. So what do we got? Okay. So what I want to do is go back to editor, go back here. Okay. There seems to be a bug, right? Minimize chat side. Okay, cool. So Gemini 3 Pro, I want you to take a look at my landing page. And so far I got this off the ground as an alpha app, but we need to make this look super fire and super amazing. And I want you to take a look at that design style. I've also attached the screenshot so you can kind of get a preview here, but there's a bunch of missing elements that we need to really kind of sell this whole app. And I'm just going to need you to just go all out as a designer and analyze everything you need to do here. I don't know. I just threw this out. I need you to just go all out as a designer. Okay, that's it. And then what I'm going to do is just go ahead and go here. I'm going to log out real quick. And I'm just going to give it a screenshot because apparently this should do really well with the screenshot. Oh, come on. Oh, you know what? I killed the server, of course. And I'm just going to nj bun dev. Just kill here. Give it a screenshot. Cool. All right, so sign out. Here we go. AnimeLeak. All right, cool. And then go back over here in Cursor. And then I should be able to grab the screenshot over here. Over here. All right, let's go. So now we have the screenshot and we're basically going to see, can Cursor, can we turn this into like a super fire designer and see if we can actually utilize that sauce that everyone's been talking about, Gemini. So let's go ahead and go through here. So we're currently in, I forgot to do plan mode. So let me go ahead and do that. Planning next move. I'm going to go here from agents. I'm going to go to plan mode. So plan, it likes to switch back to the other model for whatever reason, Gemini 3 Pro. So we're going to Gemini 3 Pro planning and we're going to enter this here. So wait, yeah. Okay, cool. So now we're going to let it do its thing. Really curious to see what happens. Web version is buggy, use Vertex. So yeah, Vertex is probably what all these other guys are using. And that's basically the scalable version And I think that's probably what V0 is using. That's probably what everyone else is using, which is probably why we get really nice things here. So I need to connect to GitHub. I don't want a separate API costs. Okay, interesting. Is available? Yes, it actually is available right now in the Vercel AI Gateway. I think you have to do Gemini 3 Pro or something like that. But I did see a tweet about that as well. So x.com/v0, I think. Yeah, so x.com/v0. And they should have the available. Oh no. Okay, so V0, AI, Vercel AI Gateway, Gemini 3. I misspelled it. Okay. Let's see. I should do latest. Yes, if you do Gemini 3 Pro preview, that's how you can get this model inside of the AI Gateway. And so that should work there. I have an app called VibeStamps, and right now it's currently using the AI Gateway as well, but I'm using Gemini 2.5 Pro. So if I go into, where is it? App. And if I go to API, generate, route, and I'm using the Vercel AI Gateway V5. The one that I'm calling here is, so I think it's under generate timestamps, stream to results. Okay, so generate AI service metadata extractor. So lib services, generate timestamp services. Here we go. From timestamp services. Okay. Oh, okay, go to file. Yay. So in here, I should have Gemini, Google, Gemini client. Yes. So, and then in Gemini client, I have default AI config. Where is that again? My AI config is in here. I should just use an IDE. Yes, I think it's in my lib. Default config, utils. Okay, yeah, I'll show you more about that later, but yeah, that's VibeStamps. Going back to here, let's go see what Cursor is doing right now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just minimize this thing. So as of now, what we're gonna go ahead and do is try to see if we can redesign our landing page. So it has dynamic motion, replace the static text animation. How it works. I mean, glass morphism. Okay. I want this to be highly performant. A lot of the stuff that you're proposing will kind of slow down the page and slow down the vibe. Part of this is the fact that it generates images really fast. And I think the design proposal that you gave me is a little too flashy. And I want you to reevaluate your proposed changes. So what I noticed is like, it likes to do these like scrolling marquee elements and stuff. And while that's cool, I don't think it actually picked up the whole vibe of my AnimeLeak. So like if we go to my site, right, animeleak.com, right now I have a certain like design style, and it's basically this little wispy space like generation thing. Is super clean, super simple. But I have a mix of like a font here plus this like actual like handwritten thing, because the whole theme of it is that, you know, the animation is supposed to leak into reality. And so you can kind of see that here. There's this like playfulness of like these little things here, and then like the way the gallery kind of works and stuff like that. It's just super clean, super simple. You also have the similar thing where the actual like hand-drawn like leaking type of feeling, but also where it meets reality, which is really stark and simple. So you have this like feeling of, you know, space, but those types of things. And I was hoping that the model will pick this up inside of Cursor, and it didn't really pick that up for me. It just kind of went like, hey, we should do, you know, something really crazy here. So we will pivot to a speed and impact design that emphasizes the fast generation capabilities. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just also give it the brand documents, brand guidelines. So I don't think it read through that, but I'm just going to give that again. So what I'm hoping here is that it will update the plan now, because in my brand guidelines, I sort of described some of this taste and stuff that I was having, and it doesn't I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going to come out here. So, and let's see how much tokens we've used so far. So we've used 115,000 tokens in our planning, and all it's done is basically read my agents MD files, development workflow, and some of those rules. Okay, that's interesting. So what did we do that used up so much tokens? Jesus. Okay, so what's it saying now? We'll define a landing page to align with the brand: intelligent, restraint, and fast. See, that's exactly what I have in my landing page. Speed is a feature. So the UI must feel instant to the generation, balance 80-20. So this is exactly what's in my brand guidelines. And I'm glad I gave it that document. I'm surprised Cursor didn't go in and grab that, because that's part of like my repo, and it's pretty upfront and center. I replaced complex with how it works sections with intuitive visual cues. So this is important, especially for landing page design, that it follows this guidelines. Use hardware accelerated CSS instead of heavy React motion libraries where possible. Yes. Performance first hero. So the headline, okay, word rotate, light text animation to cycle through brand aligned phases. I think that's too much. Actually, I want to see what it does. I'm really curious. I don't vibe with this. I just want to like okay, let's see. Optimize CTA. Start creating button with a subtle hover state, no heavy glows. Don't tell. Okay, so part of what's cool about Cursor, we're just going to build. I'm just going to build it because Cursor, I can always snap back to a previous generation and say undo all that stuff, right? I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm not really a big fan of all this stuff that it's been describing. It seems to be super eager to want to like, I could do an animation. I could throw something in your face. But I don't really like that. And that's kind of why I wrote these brand guidelines, is because I have a certain aesthetic I wanted to follow. And I'm surprised that it read through that document and just kind of threw it out the window and says like, I'm going to do what I'm trained on. And so that's a kind of a little bit of a red flag for me. And I don't know if it's just where it's sitting as far as the harness or whatever it's doing here. I think we're going to be able to tell like really quickly in the next couple of weeks whether something was designed with Gemini 3, because it's so hungry to want to do these like scrolly animations and everything that you're seeing in these like styles from maybe like a decade ago. They're sort of like coming back as new trends. And I think they're heavily trained to bias towards those things. So I like having design systems, and there are systems in place for those specific reasons. And I'm just curious to see like those biases kind of now come into reality. That's interesting. Okay. So implement minimal UI primitives, optimize hero section, get checkout main pool. What are you doing with my, no, you don't do this, bro. Okay. So we're still on the main branch. Why does it want to check out to main, bro? You don't be doing that, bro. You can't be doing that right now. Okay. We're still in the same, right? Okay. We're still, oh my God. It'd be scaring me over here with these get pools and stuff. Get checkout, get pool. Okay. You just made sure that everything's up to date. I was like, what else did you do? So, okay, going to the global, it likes doing these little marquee effects. I think this is going to be the signature of a Google Gemini 3 model, is the marquees. Like those little scrolling things, it's going to be like its things. So it's adding a marquee component. What is this? Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. Canary V3 is faster, more accurate, more lighter. Yeah. Interesting. Whisper Flow or Parakeet? I use Whisper Flow. Yeah. But you can try. Okay. Interesting. So somebody had it didn't actually mention variables in the code. So sorry, everybody. Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the update, for checking that out. I appreciate you kind of popping in. I know we're all kind of coding together. For those who are kind of wondering, basically what we're doing here is we're kind of playing around with the model right now. Google Gemini 3 just came out, and we're checking it out in all these different apps, from V0 to Droid to inside of Cursor to AI Studio, Antigravity. And we're just kind of vibing around and checking back into these different things. So far, I've tried it inside of AI Studio, and I basically made the Kilauea volcano monitor. And we've taken all these government systems, like 4 different reporting systems, really complex in-depth stuff. I'm not a geologist. And I just wanted to know, as a user, should I be going there or not? And then it basically took all that information, put into a dashboard, given some heavy prompts that I already had. And inside of Claude Code, this is the result that we had. And then this is the result from compared to what it's actually showing in Studio. So this is what the app looks like if we take a look at it inside of inside of Claude Code. So I'm going to see if I can go to the app. Go ahead and view your dashboard. So this is the dashboard inside of Claude Code, and it looks pretty cool. Like really simple. Like you're probably very used to seeing this. If someone saw this, they would say, yeah, that's vibe coded in name any platform that you want. And that's like the Claude signature vibe code, like a lot of very direct colors in your face type of stuff. It has its own design system, and that's pretty much what it's trained on. If we looked at the Gemini version, this is the Gemini 3 done in the AI Studio. It took a couple hiccups, the same prompt, but it built a really beautiful site here. If we go full screen on this, what's amazing is you can actually select the device preview. So we can see this on mobile. On mobile, this is clean, very, very clean. At the very top, you have an instant view of what the alert level is and what the activation code is. And as a visitor, which is what I wanted to know if this was a good window to go see it. And it extracted all that information out from all these different USGS websites, like here, and like some, all these things here. This is kind of what I was looking for, and basically summed it up into here, which is all you need as a user, right? If you want to go nerdy in more detail, you can keep scrolling and take a look at all the different components. But look at those nice rounded edges, like all these sources to the bottom. Like this looks like an officially like legit website that somebody would code. I was very impressed at its ability to do this type of stuff. You can even, you can go out of mobile mode. We can go to tablet mode. We can see what the tablet mode looks like. Stunning. That's really, really changed. And this is hats off to the Google Gemini team and everyone who's been working around the clock to get this implemented across all the different platforms, inside of Cursor, inside of Droid, inside of AI Studio, inside of everywhere. This is not an easy feat to do. Obviously, with everyone hitting it like crazy, you can see it's thinking, but this is what we're able to do from the AI Studio. And then we have the anti-gravity stuff that we're looking at, and we still have the V0 things that we have going in here. So one of the things that we were looking at was the Canoe Club app as well. So in here, in V0, there's a Canoe Club, and we have members who need to go to these various boats. So we have the sunrise session, we have the sunset cruise, weekend warrior. So these are the different things that you can sign up for. And you can go to your dashboard and you can go to the admin view as well. And this is all done with Gemini, right? Like we didn't give it like a design system, but this is using V0. And right now the admin view is kind of freaking out and it's not loading. So if I just reload it, see what happens. Yeah. Let's see. As of now, let's see, I can give it this error. Okay. The admin view is failing to load. Here is the error. Okay. So what happens, I think, with Next.js is whenever you have a preview image, you have to allow it from a specific subdomain. Otherwise, it won't be presented. I think it's for security purposes. So that probably has to get added to a config file, I would imagine. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. There's one of these files. Where is it? Oh, pinpointing. Yeah, this is probably what it's going to do here. So we're going to let it do its thing there. So that's V0. Anti-gravity is doing its thing. So we gave this same app to anti-gravity, and then we're going to take a look at anti-gravity right now and see where it ended up going. So as of now, if it thought for a little while about the app and the requirements, and it's going to make a Vite app, which is basically a single page type of app here, and it errored out. So you can prompt the model or try again. So we can just say, try again. So how do I get it to try again? Can I just retry? So try again. It's possible like this model's so heavily like rate limited that, it's doing its own thing. Anyone using the Gemini CLI? Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, just joined this stream. I'm seeing mixed opinions on how the model behaves. Some say it just goes ahead and makes its own decisions, ignoring the context. Have you experienced this? I'm actually starting to experience this now in my design system for my AnimeLeak app because I'm making a landing page. And I've noticed it's over aggressive in its current training data for generating a landing page. So if you have a design system in place like I do, and I have brand guidelines, I kind of tell it exactly the specs, and it even calls it out in its own planning inside of Cursor. It says, we have 80/20 and doing these things, but it still ignores that and says, hey, we're going to put marquees everywhere. We're going to have flashy stuff. and it doesn't necessarily need it. And it tends to want to do that more often than not. And I'm just kind of letting the model do its thing because that's what it likes to do. And so I'm really curious to see how it behaves here. The last one I want to do is basically Droid, because Droid is supposed to be really good at this stuff. And I want to see if I can maybe give it this prompt inside of Droid and just let it just do its thing. So I think that's what I'm going to do right now, because this is probably not going to model. Okay, so for those who are following along, just in this one prompt, I literally just did one prompt, right? In V0, right? This prompt already got it built. It thought for 20 seconds inside of the anti-gravity thing, and I already hit like a model quota exceeded. This is insane. Obviously, there's tons of demand right now, and I'm probably not going to be able to play too much with the model inside of anti-gravity. And that's a big L right now. I probably may not be able to continue to play with it inside of AI Studio. And so my only options are going to be now inside of Cursor, inside of Droid, inside of everywhere else who has API access, which you pay as well. But that sucks. That really sucks, because I just got started on this plan and we only shipped like one app and we barely got through that, which was the USGS thing, which I really liked so far. But that's a massive L. Okay, so let's just take this prompt that I just yapped up and see if I can get this over to the Droid, because I think this thing will really just cook in Droid. So I'm going to call it Canoe Club. So I'm going to terminal, and I'm going to do CD workspace. I'm just going to create a new app here, mkdir-p. I'm going to call it Canoe Club Outrigger app. Okay. CD Outrigger app. Okay. There's nothing in here. Great. So I'm going to pop in Droid now. So now we're just going to go full Droid mode. Okay. So so I'm going to make sure I got the right model. Okay. Yeah, I have the model selected. And so I'm going to try this. Okay. So I'm going to do spec mode. Okay. I'm just going to build it with everything, database and all that stuff, all in Droid, and just let it do its thing here. I think we're just really, really cook here. And so I want to create a Next.js 15 app with convex for the database, clerk for authentication, shadcn UI, Tailwind, CSS v4 with the tokenizing token design. What else do we need to do? And have it follow some of the design system. Here is what I'm thinking the app should do. And requirements, and then paste. So I'm pasting in all those prompts here. Did it work? Oh no. Okay, so did it? Let's see. Copy. Go back here. Paste. Okay. / requirements. Okay. Okay, cool. So now I'm basically, it says use ref for search and exa code MCPs. All right, so now we basically are going into plan mode. So we have an empty folder inside of Droid. I have the requirements for the app using the Gemini 3 Pro model in dynamic mode, and we're just gonna let it go do its thing here. The reason kind of we're really falling back to here is like this is my primary mode of using Droid. I like to use Droid for everything. So yes, allow all. And I want to see how the model behaves in these different platforms. Like we've been using it in Cursor. We've been using it, inside of like V0. We've been using it on the web in AI Studio. We also tried anti-gravity in all these places, right? So for me, like, I feel like this is kind of like the bring it home model, and we're going to see this agent really work. And there's a lot of stuff that I just dumped at it here. Like you saw, like we're going to create the new app. We're going to set up convex. We're going to do a lot of things here. And I'm hoping that, it's going to be able to remember everything. And we're going to see how it does, like how many tokens is it going to use? Is the model actually smarter inside of a harness like Droid compared to like what's inside of Cursor? You know, this is like Droid. I love using it with Sonnet 4.5, and I just like vibe code my way all the way through everything. And now it's basically looking up some of this documentation inside of here. And as far as anti-gravity, we're pretty much out of, like, we're already rate limited just off of this first prompt. And it probably, because I had a different app that I did already, only with a couple prompts, it's already kind of done there. So that's kind of like a big L there, but that's okay. So this is going to do its thing here. So now we're just going to compare, can it create this app really quickly for us inside of Droid? And then how does that compare to the one in V0 without a database and stuff like that? So that's what's up. Why does CLI suck on, would you like to use React? Oh, okay. I have no clue. So I'm really curious for anyone who's using the Gemini CLI, are you seeing any rate limited issues like the way I'm currently seeing in anti-gravity? I'm curious if it's the same account you're using the CLI. Are there different rate limits? I don't really know. Saw next that Droid worked officially with Gemini team for this. Expect it to be pretty well. Dude, I'm so hyped for this. Yeah. I'm really curious to see how that's going to do. This is a really massive plan, and it's like doing tons of research right now. And like, this is going to be a really fun one to see how well it does. Yeah, not at all. They have different limits for the CLI. Whoa. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at that. I think I had it here. Let's see. Gemini CLI. Yeah. Let's see. CLI. Okay. So once we got it installed, we went to Gemini CLI. Okay. So we did the install. And then we call it with just Gemini. Okay. And then if you're using a paid Claude Assistant license, okay, you put this in here. Okay. I think we just call Gemini. That's interesting. Okay. So I wonder if I just give it the same app, will it do the same things? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what's up. Outrigger app. So I'm going to go to here, cd ... and then mkdir-p Outrigger app, Gemini. Okay, see Outrigger app dash Gemini. And then I'm just going to type in Gemini. Whoa, hold on. Gemini. Okay. So would you like to log in? Okay, so we can log in with Google, use the Gemini API key or the Vertex AI. Okay, so if I log in with Google, I'm going to try that right now. Log in with Google. And then select my account. I'm really curious if my rate limits are just going to hold up or not. So hit sign in. Worker service closed. Okay, totally aired out. Am I in? I think I'm good. Okay, so I think I'm in. I think so. Okay, so it's path to file / about docs, directory editor, model. So I can select the model, enter. So I have auto. So auto lets the system choose the best model for the task. I can go to pro. So that's interesting. So Gemini 3 is currently not available. How do I get it? Enable preview features in the settings. Okay, so I'll go escape / settings. And then I have to go here. And then I go to preview features, true. Enable prompt collection. Okay. So then how do I save this? Just escape. Tab to focus, escape to close. Okay. / model. And then now I go to, I did already. So enable preview features and settings / preview features settings. This is buggy as hell. So it is true. Yes. Okay. It's true. To see changes must be restarted. Oh, press R to exit and apply changes now. Okay. So I have to exit, type in Gemini, and then / model, and then I'll see it. Okay, here we are. So it's interesting. For complex tasks that require deep reasoning, there's 2 models available. So you can't exclusively use Gemini 3 Pro Preview. It looks like you have to use both of these models, right? So if you hit Pro, I don't know exactly what model is going to be used. So I imagine if I hit rate limits, that I'll be selecting, like, instead of 3, it'll just go down to 2.5 Pro, right? / model, right? Because that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. So it's enabled, but there's 2 there. So that's Y'all playing with me right now. Okay, so when you select Auto or Pro, Gemini will attempt to use Gemini 3.3 Pro preview first before falling back to Gemini. So this is interesting. You have access to the model, but you don't have access to the model. And there's 3 ways of signing in. We can sign in using our Google account, which is what I just did, but you don't always get 3 Pro because as of right now, I've already hit rate limits just off of 2 prompts. The second part of it is like you can sign in using an API. So that'd be interesting. The third part is Vertex. So the Vertex one is like it's more costly, but high availability. It's a lot faster usually for the responses. So that's your different options here. Should I even waste my time here? I don't think so. Because which model are you? Like, am I going to race my... Oh, God. See? It seems like you don't have access to Gemini 3. Like... I do have access. Oh, that's such a L. Okay, I'm done with this already. Gemini. Okay, I'm gonna go back over here. We're going back to Droidland. Okay, so yes, allow always for low impact. Okay, so I'm just gonna do high. Okay, so auto high here. All right, so we try to set up the CLI for Gemini, and there's a lot of complicated issues here. Apparently, even though I had access to my account, it says I don't, and there's probably just being lots of rate limits. Things are probably being throttled all over the place. So, you can use an API key. Other people are trying to use it. And it sounds like it doesn't always use Gemini 3 Pro because of it being so busy. So they fall back to Gemini 2.5. So maybe in the middle of an agentic workflow, it's possible it just falls back, whether you know it or not. So it's going to be hard to determine just using Gemini 3, whether that was successful or not. So I'm going to put that to the side for now. And I'm just going to focus right now on Droid and some of the other agents here. So that's where we're at. So as of now, Droid came back with a solution for our massive plan here. So we have the Outrigger Canoe Club app. So this is going to be hooked up to a database and everything. Here's the tech stack that we're using. This is really great. It's already got a users table. It's got a boats table. It's got signups, authentication for onboarding. That's beautiful. Okay, so here's the implementation. Great. So to be honest, this is a really sparse spec, but I'm just going to allow it to do its thing here. So it's going to install and configure everything. We have nothing in this folder, so it should be able to do everything for us. So now I'm just going to let it do its thing. So approve with high autonomy. Go. So this is Droid. Droid's going to do its thing, and I'm just going to let it do its thing. So right now it's going to write out this is the plan it has, and this is what it's going to follow here. So this is this guy here, and it has a lot of this research in its context. So I'm really curious to see what happens next. So it tries to create the next app. It says it failed. Outrigger contains the following files. Oh, I see. Because there's already a file here, it's going to think through what the next step is. So that's going to be the Droid thing. I'm going to let that do its thing here. So I'm going to let that. And here's the CLI that we're not using anymore. Here's the thing here. Here's V0. Okay, so V0 fixed itself, I think. So we're going to take a look here. So if we go to admin view, it should have fixed it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know what's going on. And they said dialog. Okay. I'm going to go back to just regular. So let's just go to the regular view. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so if I hit join crew, I could leave the boat. Oh, that's cool. Leave boat. There's a wait list, join wait list. Okay, and then leave boat. Okay, so these are the boats. And then this is my dashboard. So this shows the boats that I signed up with, so I can leave. And these are all the available boats. That's cool. Yeah. And so I'm curious to see if we make it like mobile view. Does it? Yeah, that's cool because people would be doing stuff on mobile. Yeah. I want to see if I can get flashy with the design here. I want to see if we can make this design a little more aesthetically pleasing for the Hawaii crowd because Hawaii has a different design aesthetic. And I just really want you to go all out as a designer here. So I want to see if it can take this basic template, which just looks like everything we've seen from Claude, and see if it can actually bring out some of that Gemini magic, right? Can it really get to do something interesting here? Because while this is functional, I'm not that super impressed with the design. And we're going to see how it does. So it's going to design a tropical UI. And I think this is where I really want it to feel like that way that we're saying here. So this is going to be really fun to see. I bet it cooks in Droid. Yeah. It's not overloaded. I'm using it now. Okay. If you have access, you'll automatically use 3. If you don't have access, then it'll fall back to 2.5. I do have access, and that's where we're using an AI Studio. So that's kind of weird that I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. So now it's going to design a font implementation. So that's interesting. I've not seen a model go into like fonts. So that's a really cool choice that it chose this specific font. So like that's what like on the Hawaii aesthetic theme, using warm sand as a base. So that's going to be really fun. I'm really excited to see it kind of do its thing here. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Have you guys been building so far? What have you liked so far about the model? Have you been hitting rate limits like I have? I have been hitting them in AI Studio. I just hit them, and then obviously that carries over into the Antigravity app because I was only able to do one prompt and that failed right away. And unfortunately, I can't have any more prompts for whatever reason. And then when I tried the command line interface, we kind of failed there. But our first looks have been looking pretty fun. So some of the first stuff that we've been vibe coding so far is just this app as like a dashboard, and comparing that to Claude Sonnet 4. I prefer the one from Gemini 3. Like this is really, really nice. Like what it did here is gorgeous. It's really, really good. And so, yeah, I prefer that for sure. Right now, we're also having it do some stuff here in Cursor, and that's kind of what we're doing for like updating my app called AnimeLeak. And we're trying to see if I can redesign my actual landing page here. So it looks like it finished everything. Okay, I want to see the app. Whoa, let's see, Bundev. That was fire. Bundev. Let's see. Did we change any backend stuff? I didn't even get to review the changes. It was so fast. Okay, so we have the CSS file. What did it do? Some marquee transformations. And then it has a word rotate component. And then here's the hero gallery. And then that's it, I think, right? Okay, so we should be able to check this now. Open. Let's see, localhost 3000. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm not really that excited about this landing page, to be honest. So this is kind of cute how this like rotates through, but obviously it's too fast. And this is using the Gemini 3 model within itself, within Cursor. And like, this is a cool idea, actually, like having the scrollable images down here that people can select as a scrolling thing, right? I only have a couple, but like, I think that's really cool. I don't know what this is all about, but oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to be really tough with it. I'm going to say like, this landing page does not make any sense, especially the last part. I want you to act like a user and go through as if you're going to land on this page. It's not really clear to me all the different information that I need to convert a user from being curious about it to start using it to maybe even giving them more information about what we do. I also want you to review and stick to the brand guidelines. Brand guidelines. Okay. So I'm just going to tell it that. All right. So far, yeah, I'm not that impressed. And it's just possibly that because it's already sitting in my code base, and I was expecting more from the model, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah. So that's Cursor right now with GPT, Gemini 3. And what's going on over here? So in our Outrigger app with Droid, what it's doing right now is basically just going to town, like totally just YOLOing all the way. So it's now creating the app. What is it doing now? So it's basically working around everything. Shatsian Canary. Dang. Okay. Installing everything. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Clerk. It's doing it all. Wow. Saving me lots of time, actually. This is actually really nice because this is all the stuff I would have to do locally to get this set up. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is awesome. Dude, Droid is really cooking. Whoa. Okay. So the project setup is complete. I've successfully set up the Outrigger Canoe app and the project instantiated here. And the next step is setting up the environment variables, initialize convex, configure the JWT templates, and then run the app. The first user I created is paddler to make yourself as admin. Go to dashboard data, users table, and edit the users array and include admin. Wow. Okay, cool. Wait, is it already done? This is crazy. Okay, let's see. Cursor dot. Let's take a look at this Outrigger app. I'm really curious. Like, that's a lot of code that it generated. And I also want to figure out, like, how much did this cost? Like, cost, right? So this is only 94,000 tokens in Droid. Dang. So that's amazing. So it output 64,000 tokens. It cache read 583,000 and the output was 8,400. That's extremely efficient. It read a lot of documentation earlier and it took all of my plans like that I yapped in here inside of Droid and we just got started. Wow, that's crazy. And like, look at this code. Obviously a lot of the code comes from the generation of things, right? So here's the SRC, here's our components, here's the different, we have the admin, the whole, like the app for the admin dashboard's already built. We have a dashboard as well. Yo, this is crazy. Okay, yeah. Dang. Here's the components, obviously from ShadCN. We have the page as well. So sign into paddle, welcome back. And obviously it's not using all the different latest packages for all the different versions that we have. Okay. I want to use Bun for the package manager. I should have said, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I forgot to mention that we're using Bun for the package manager. And at this point now, I want you to take a look and do a quick Bun run build after we set it up to be run using the Bun package manager. Then I want you to use ref MCP and Xcode MCPs to make sure our app fits the latest versions of Clerk with convex integration here. Fits the requirements. Linting errors. The latest version. Okay. So I'm basically just telling it to do another pass and fix some things. And then, yeah, when I do a run of the app, I'll be able to generate the app and do all that stuff, set it up here. So, wow, I can generate like a full-blown SaaS. I'm pretty impressed that it's been able to do this step sort of basically one shot, but I think this is kind of sort of the norm now. So it's going to remove this stuff and do the Bun install. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. So switch Bun run the latest integration. Yes, going to refactor some of the code to match the latest best practices if needed. Okay, cool. Awesome. Next.js 16. Ooh. I want to use 15 though. Okay. I'm going to let it do its thing there. All right. So we have the Outrigger app there. We have this landing page. Did Cursor give us anything better here? Let's see. What did Cursor say? Because I'm really curious, you know? So as of now, okay. So all it did was, the model provider is currently overloaded. Our model provider experiencing high demand. Please switch to another model or try again in a few moments. Try again. So even in Cursor is currently experiencing very high demand. And yeah, are you guys seeing the high demand? I'm curious too, because for me, wow. I imagine everyone in the world is trying to hit this right now. Also, Gemini is 1 million context, but Gemini CLI auto compacts at 200K. Oh, interesting. How's it going so far with testing? So far with testing, it's going okay. I think I had sort of the best results starting from scratch on AI Studio, just yapping an idea and having it build. That was really, really cool. Using it inside of V0, I tend to prefer what I call like the Claude Sonnet ShadCN design system. So like really bare minimum. And then I'm hoping that it can like dress it up with the next level prompt here. So in V0, I told it to get a little more creative and create some Hawaiian aesthetic to see if we can kind of warm things up. And it apparently should be able to do, yeah. So here we are. So this looks more like a website you'd see probably like in 1998. I don't know. It's like, this is kind of nice. You know, it basically went super extra, but I can tell like it's sticking a lot to the V0 design principles and like having this little emoji waves thing in the background. But I like some of this like design choices, and it seems to be, you know, like, I don't know. It works. I think it did clean up a lot of the design because we had some issues with the crew roster with these little circles. And now when you join them, they're no longer overlapping. And, you know, it says 3 boats are currently available. You can leave the boat. I could join the wait list. One person's on the wait list. I can leave the boat here. I can go to the admin. I think as an admin, I don't know if I'm able to do anything here. So now the app feels like it's more, let's see. Yeah. So warm tropical palette. Yeah, I basically told it to like basically be more Hawaiian aesthetic and stuff like that. So yeah, does it work for a community app? Sure. I mean, I think it works fine. But it doesn't have that like Google magic sauce that you normally get. So I want to see if I can design a similar one, just a really quick, this plan was really, really good. So I want to see if I can take this and yeah, because what I wanted to do in Droid, it was like do full blown like SaaS, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. But what I might do is just do another one and just do like the same thing, but just say I just need a quick landing page without authentication, all that stuff. So I'm going to do that same thing and just do it without these other things here. So I'm going to go to cd.mk-p-v2 and cd outrigger app v2 droid, because yeah, and I'm just going to paste. So we're going to use Gemini 3 Pro and paste this in here. And I'm basically going to do the same type of thing that I did inside of V0. And we're going to see what's going to happen. So I'm going to go back into specs mode and let it do its thing here. So we're going to give it the same prompt. And I'm really curious to see how it does in here, right? So what's interesting is that outside of V0, inside of Droid, it's going to be talking to the API, and we're going to see how creative it can really get. Like I'm not super impressed with the V0 Gemini thing, because what I've been seeing as far as like landing pages have been super crazy fire, right? Like this is okay. Like this got better after we prompted it the second time, but I don't know. I'm not like super like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. Like this is really cool. So, oh, I see. So I could say admin, Kai Waterman, a paddler. So as a paddler, you can join the crew. If you're a steers person, oh, take the helm. Oh, that's cool. Relinquish the helm. Relinquish the helm. Take the helm. Oh, that's pretty cool. Actually, this is really fun. Koa strong. So join the boat. Leave the boat. Join the waitlist. Oh, okay. And so, wow, that's fire. Oh, that's really cool. So if you're a different person, you'll see different views. Oh, I see. Waitlists. You're not on any wait lists. So if I go back to Koa, okay. Admin. Yeah, I can't get the admin to view work here. So why does it keep failing? Let's see. The /admin route keeps failing to load. Okay. I'm gonna let it try to fix its thing here. So far, it's looking like a fun little app. Let's go back to Droid here. So Droid. So in Droid, I'm just going to see if it just comes up with a quick React app here. So design a plan here. So database, I'm going to tell it that we're not going to use a database. We're just going to create a quick prototype. Okay. Let's do this without, okay. No, keep iterating a spec. Let's do this without a, let's stick to the prototype and do no database, but do things locally. And I think V0 gave us like some of that guideline. And I think they said, do things locally. Let's see. data structure. Since you've chosen not to do integration, so client-side state management with React context. So these are really good requirements here. Okay, so let's do these. Okay, so let's stick to the prototype and do the things. And no database. And let's see. And without a database, we can do client-side state management with React context, local storage for persistence, and then mock data structures for boats, user signups and stuff. Okay, cool. Let's do that. So that's pretty cool. I like this little prompt here. And so now we're going to iterate on this plan. And so this should basically do the setup for us. And this should basically remove the Prisma things. And then I don't know if it's going to do server actions since we're going to do the mock data. And then it's going to build our landing page, build an admin dashboard, and improve auth flow. Okay, watch. Okay, so now we're saying we're going to create the React app, mock users, dummy users. Okay, this looks pretty good. Local JSON storage, I like this. Nice. So we're going to have yeah, this looks cool. Click and drag users for waitlists. And then user action, click to join a boat. Scaffold, yes. This looks awesome. Shall I proceed? Yes. So this is going to be fun. Here, what's going to be nice about what I'm hoping for this app is we're going to try to build this with all local storage. So the first prompt here was to basically just build everything using the full stack, like convex, clerk, and that'll take us a little while to get through. And we may not be able to see a lot of the UI sauce that we really want to see from this app. And so over here, we just said, let's just go back to prototype mode and just build here. Cause I really want to see if we give the model basically a harness like Droid, which is really good at instruction following and keeping long sessions and long context, especially for research and things, then we should really kind of have it go to town, which would be really fun. So now it's going to create the next app and do these different things. And we're going to kind of let it do its stuff here. So this is doing its thing. And I'm going to say, I want to use bun for the package manager. Might be too late. Use ref MC for search and exa code MCPs. Okay. So that'll be just for the latest documentation, and that's currently queued. So in the next part of it, when it pauses, it's going to throw that in, which is doing it right now. And then it's going to try to do some research and do the other things here. So we'll let it do its thing there and check in on things. So Codex CLI has been better than Claude Code. Really? Even with the recent update, I'm really curious because they've been truncating a lot of the MCP outputs and it has been really bad for me. Interesting that anti-gravity went off windsurf, someone said. Really? That's interesting because I thought it was available there too as well. Going to be testing Droid a lot with Gemini. Yeah, I think that's probably the best setup right now, to be honest. So we'll see. Is there a better bench for code? I haven't seen. I think the person you want to check in with here is going to be Gosu Coder, aka Adam. And we have a podcast called Rate Limited Podcast if you had a chance to take a look. And we're going to probably talk about that model next week. But he does a lot of benchmarking and stuff like that for agentic coding. So yeah, if you go to YouTube /@RateLimitedPod, I want to have you guys check this out. So that's a cool place to check out. We just crossed 1,000 subscribers. We literally just launched 4 videos ago. So basically, I think almost 2 months ago, right? 1 month ago. Yeah, it's when we launched our podcast. And so, yeah, it's been doing really well. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, it's pretty cool. So myself, Eric Provencher, and then Adam, we talk about the latest models of what's going on. So we released one 4 days ago, talking about Kimi K2, thinking, Minimax, OpenAI Codex. So at the beginning of this video, you'll hear Eric Provencher talk about the issue with Codex that he's seen for truncating the MCP output. And they're only allowing, I think, 200 something lines. It's pretty sad. They've acknowledged there's a regression here and they're trying to fix it. It's on their list, but we'll see when it actually gets fixed and so forth. So yeah, that'll be kind of what's going on there. Let's see what's going on here. So we were running this prompt inside of Cursor. It got rate limited, and then I think it's still overloaded. So right now it's so overloaded inside of Cursor that they're like not letting you do anything. So I'm just gonna try again and see what happens here. So verify to fix a loophole, allow model to cheat. Oh, that's interesting. So what's Droid? So Droid is an agent harness from this company called Factory AI. And so for me, if you go to, factory.ai. So with factory.ai, it is like a command line interface, but they also have a web interface as well. You can run the models, and they basically have scored the highest on like Terminal Bench for a lot of the existing models. So that's like Claude Sonnet 4.5, OpenAI's Codex models. And so when you use the model inside of Droid, like the command line, you tend to get better results, and you can kind of see from their outputs here. So they're able to beat like all these different model providers' own like type of harness just by using the stuff that they're doing. So the techniques that they're doing is all public actually. So there's not like any like secret, enterprisey stuff that they're doing, but they actually describe them in here in their actual blog posts. So one of the most recent things that they come across as far as like the engineering side of things was like about context window and like scaling them. And so in here, they talk about some of the context compression. I have an interview with Luke, and they had sponsored that live stream as well. And they've actually even allowed my users to get more tokens than usual for signing up. So if you haven't had a chance to sign up, https://rfur.me/rayfactory. So that will actually get you 40 million tokens. They, as part of the sponsorship agreement for the live stream, they actually provided my users with 40 million tokens. And so anyone who signs up using that code right now, you get access to it. They don't sponsor this live stream or whatever I'm doing right now. I don't financially benefit if you click that link and get 40 million tokens. You can go try it out yourself. Part of the reason why I do business with certain types of people like Factory and these other folks is because they have a good product and I really like it a lot. And I also negotiate to make sure that everyone else who wants to try it gets above the normal threshold for trying some products, because we really use our stuff here a lot. And, the regular free trials sometimes only get us a couple prompts, not a couple prompts, but it gets us enough to get going. But, I wanted to, when people sponsor the show, I shouldn't be the only one who benefits. I feel like everyone else should benefit with me, because that's kind of the community we have here. We're just kind of coding live and playing around with things. So go ahead and check that out. You click that link. You're going to get that 40 million tokens if you're a new user to go ahead and sign up and start cooking with it. You can use all the models that I'm currently using. So Gemini is basically half the amount of credits. So technically you can get 80 million tokens of Gemini, which is kind of insane if you think about it, as of right now, just for launch. So I think that'll be really cool. So yeah, that's what's up. So is Cursor letting us do its thing? So it's probably hitting rate limits too. So yeah, let's go back to actual Droid here. So yeah, Droid, pretty cool stuff. I find it works really well. So I've been able to have like lots of tokens just through using Droid. So right now it's just installing dependencies. It's pretty autonomous. And we'll let it do its thing here. So, okay, that's what's up. Anyone experiencing AI Studio not showing or erasing prompt history? Ooh, nothing lets me see my earliest prompts. Oh, that's weird. You can actually disable the model router, where do you find the setting? So you can actually disable the model router, which prevents the CLI from routing you to lesser models. And let me know how you're able to do this, because I really want to find out, because that'd be really cool. But I apparently don't have access to the CLI, so I'm still kind of dead in the water right now with Gemini 3 in the Gemini CLI. So it is what it is. But if you have that information to share, I'll post it here so that way others who are using it, they can try that as well. Yeah, realistically, a lot more than 80 million Gemini credits because of the aggressive caching. And that's also why I love the Droid CLI. See, that's the exact reason. So just like he's saying here, and thank you for posting that, by the way. When we did our setup here, right? Like this was the same request, but this was the more ambitious one, saying, I want you to set up the Next.js 15 app, Convex, Clerk, and all this other cool stuff, plus my requirements. And so it went to town, did all this MCP tool calling with Exa, right? Got all that stuff going, did everything, ran these code to execute the environment, write all the different files. This is that one prompt, right? Like going through even more documentation, making sure I use the latest stuff with Clerk and getting that information. Here we are fixing the code again, and it's going through. And like if we do /costs, that only cost us 160,000 tokens. Crazy, right? Like it cache read was 1.1 million tokens. We didn't get burnt with that, right? So like that's amazing, right? And so if you're thinking about like 1 million tokens, I can keep doing this like a whole bunch of times. And then if you get 40 million and then since if you do /model, right? If we do model right now, if we go to Gemini 3 Pro with dynamic, the current thing is just 0.5. So whatever, if you have 40 million tokens, now you're going to get 80 million out of it, right? So that's pretty crazy. So that's on par with like GPT-5.1 Codex right now inside of Factory AI. And in Sonnet's 1.2. So you're probably going to get a lot of token usage outside of Droid if you're using Droid here. So, and they're very cost effective. If we go to Cursor right now, we're seeing it cook right here. And for the stuff we've been doing is 142,000 tokens. So we've been doing quite a bit, but mostly it was just kind of taking a screenshot, updating the landing page, touch a couple of files. I mean, there aren't many code changes as you can see here, but it's been using a lot of its context to do reasoning and running some of these other tasks as well. So that's still going there, just a FYI. So that's how you can compare the two right here. And I thought that was really insightful. Let's see how the status of this one's going. So this is still going. This is pretty cool. We've been going for 10 minutes off that one prompt and it's still going. So it's basically just keeping going there. And it doesn't interrupt me, which is really nice. So now it's installing the latest ShadCN dependencies for these things here, going step by step, following its plan. And we're just gonna let it do its thing. So that's pretty cool. Droid's pretty fun. Kind of why I'm using MCPs less and less. Yeah, the only two MCPs, exa.ai and then ref.tools. Those are like my two favorites because of how token efficient, and we're seeing them how token efficient they are in all of our apps, which is really, really cool. Droid has tool calls. Yeah. Yo, Ray and Steve Paul Jobs. What's going on, man? Yo, yeah. What's going on? I appreciate you kind of joining in. Have you been playing around with it, Tech Friend? I'm really curious on your take too, because I know a lot of people have been playing around with it. We're just kind of hanging out, vibing, and seeing how it's doing here. So, Tech Friend, yo, yes, this is kind of what he's saying. So this, I think, Augment OS is like, AKA SPJ. Let's go. we all fam. That's what's up, man. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Let's check in on the V0 stuff. So we're over here. I tried anti-gravity. I'm pretty much already capped out after one prompt, which sucked. And yeah, what is this app, bro? I wish I had like full unfederated access where I just go crazy, because I'd be going crazy in AI Studio with all my different ideas. So now I'm having to do it in these other apps, which is okay, but it takes a little while. So as far as design, I don't know, man. V0, I think it could do better. I don't know why it's not so amazing. So completely refactor admin page to remove the dialog badge. Okay, let's see. Admin page, does it work? Oh, nice. Okay, this is really cool. So we have the full create boat. Oh, yeah, morning practice. This is nice. Okay, so capacity 6, session details. YOLO, bro. Create boat. Put in all required fields. I do have all. So create boat. I do have all the. I filled in all the required fields as an admin, but it is erroring out. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell it about creating a boat. But anyways, that's really cool. So I have a steers person. I can bump them out if I wanted to. This is really cool. Actually, I really like this app. I'm just going to give this to my friend. It's like, hey, now you can manage all the boats, which is really cool for the canoe club. Damn, that's awesome. I think it's just fixing its types and stuff here. Ray Fernando, on the IDE, it lets me dismiss the rate limit message and continue. Let's try that out. So, okay. Earlier, when I was looking at that, by the way, it only let me continue with the lower version of the model. It didn't let me continue with the Gemini 3 model. So is that what you're saying that you're able to do? Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. Sign up for a GCP account and you get $300 of credit. I think I already have a GCP account and my credit's expired, but maybe I have to create a new account. That's interesting. So what's killing Sonnet 4.5 right now is reasoning. So Gemini is under ChatGPT 5.1 on reasoning, but is superior with writing optimal code. So you know what's really funny? Inside of Droid, I use Sonnet 4.5 High. It's been phenomenal at being like steering accurately, being efficient. I haven't had a lot of problem with it. I rewrote my whole backend for my Ray Transcribes app. It's incredible. Yeah. Like now I'm able to transcribe like 24 hours of audio in my app. And I had like a whole streaming WebSocket thing on the client because I was using Cloudflare and today my app went down. So I just said, like, let me just rewrite the whole thing. It did everything all in one shot. It just flipped it all. I was like, dang. So I'm going to redeploy it on Vercel and have everything on Vercel because I've not been really happy with Cloudflare recently. Okay, so what happened here with the admin? So admin, I can create a new boat, create a boat, my goat, YOLO, create boat. Why? Filling all required fields. We do have them. Oh, I see. 130. Create boat. Oh man, that's weak sauce. Okay, so I guess I'll put this in. It's totally airing out. That's weird. I made a new boat, put in the fields, and it fails to. And it's okay. And it errors with, okay. So we're just having an admin bug issue. My dashboard, okay. But this is cool. Join the crew, leave the boat, leave the boat. I can change users. I can change from Kai to, like I could even open this in a new tab. Okay. Oh, it's gonna do its thing. Yeah, so I basically just opened up a version of the app on the side while it's rebuilding. I don't know what's going on. All right, we're gonna let it do its thing here. This will come back. AnimeLeak, simple, honest pricing, no subscriptions, pay for the magic you create, start for free. This is the redesign from Cursor. I'm not really feeling it right now. I kind of feel like if you have an existing app, I have to figure out how to prompt it better to get that magic sauce that we see from like what everyone's doing like cool stuff online with. That's interesting. Yeah. Like so far, it's not even done yet because the provider gets overloaded. Oh, that's weak sauce. Let's try again. Yeah, so it's just not really working inside of Cursor right now because it's so slammed. Dang, that sucks. Okay, let's go back to Droid. So Droid is still going, and Droid's probably in the same boat right now. Let's see. Press escape to stop. Let's see. Continue. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna let it do its thing. PM is highlighted in blue, so that's the problem. Oh, yeah. I guess that's what it is. Hoping AI does 12 days of Christmas again this year. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I think, see, that's what the AM to PM thing is not like intuitive. But here's the thing, right? Like what's weird about this model is like in Sonnet 4.5 or Sonnet in general, it tends to pick up on a lot of these UX, UI nuances where I can give it these types of requirements and it builds them. And it, like, as a user, you're not going to select it. If it looks right, it looks right because it shows you AM or PM. And it shouldn't really kind of matter too, right? But with Gemini, maybe it's too strict using V0's harness. Like V0 has their own harness of like tuning this type of thing in. So I'm going to be really curious when Droid finishes up to see how they do it, right? What is their way of doing this type of thing? I told it to kind of do similar things, but is it going to design better? I'm hoping I get better designs just using a different model. I was hoping with V0 that would just go crazy with the designs. And in the like AI Studio, the designs seem to just right out the get-go with very little prompting kind of show us a lot more promise. And I'm not sure if like V0 is heavily biased to its own internal like training set, which is kind of why we get more reserved designs until like it really wants to pop out of its whole thing here. So I'm going to let it do its thing here with Droid. And in Cursor, I'm hitting rate limits. Are you guys using Cursor right now? Are you hitting the same rate limits that I'm hitting right now? Because I can't seem to get any further right now inside of Cursor. It seems to be kind of a wall that we're hitting. You should do it on Windsurf, as I haven't faced any problems for like 4 hours. I think because nobody's using Windsurf, bro. That's interesting. Yeah. So it's just taking like 5% of the actual data and the rest. Yeah. Man, Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the chat or this person here. So let's see. Ray signed up with Droid now, but don't see any mention of the 40 million tokens. Do I get them after the upgrade? So you have to sign up using that link that I gave you. And if you email the support and let them know that you just came from my live stream, they should get back to you and try to see if they can add them to your account. Because I know some other people had a similar thing. So I think it's like support@factory.ai. And just tell them that you're just watching this live stream right now, and they should be able to take care of you if you had some problems like that. I'm actually not sure, to be honest, if the promotion's still active, but I would imagine it is. But I'll reach out to them as well. But yeah, just tell them, for this live stream that you had some problems. They should probably help you get taken care of and so forth. Because the sponsorship was almost like a month ago and some change, and the link was still active and it was still working for people. So I'm still giving out the links and people were still saying they're getting tokens, but I would definitely encourage you to reach out, and it doesn't hurt to ask, right? So that's what's up. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it should still be active. Windsurf Chads. Yo, okay, who's still using Windsurf, by the way? Would love to get a number of people in the chat. Just spam Windsurf if you're using Windsurf. Is it your daily driver? What are you using it for? And is it actually helpful for you? Yeah, I kind of stopped using it after a while ago. So, I've just been, I can only take so many IDEs at a time. And with Cursor's latest 2.0, with this agent window, that to me supersedes what I was doing in Cursor. As far as models, they're the same model. So that's what it is. And then as far as a CLI, Droid has just been my go-to driver. It's so much so that I pretty much use Droid almost exclusively for the most part when I'm just in the zone. Because and then I just use Cursor just to review the changes if I need to, or just take a look at other stuff in parallel while the Droid agent is running. I just let me just take a look at these files, or let me do some research, right? So it's easier to search in an IDE for certain files or certain patterns of things, right? And that's what I like having an IDE for, and clicking through with option, and because doing that in GitHub just takes me a longer time, and then it's just easier to do it that way. So that's kind of what I use these two here for. So that's this guy. He's going off here. Have you noticed issues with sub-agents reporting sub-agents reporting output to orchestrator agents in the Droid CLI? Droid orchestrator says, I'll wait for Droid sub-agent to finish, and it's already done. No, I've not seen that, but I'm really curious. Interesting. So it looks like this person also signed up for the 40 million. So you check billing and usage and see how much you have. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I think it looks like it's still working for that link. So that's good to know. Okay, so this is still going here for the landing page. Let's see how this is doing so far. Landing page. So where are we at here? So this is the landing page. Yeah, this is kind of what it's doing right now. Not really impressed right now. And I don't know if it's the harness or what, but this is okay. It's following my design style. It's cool. It's cool. It's just very, very meh. Okay, so let's go back to Droid right now. So let's see. So Droid just continued building, right? Because we had an error. Okay. So what's going on now? I successfully built the Outrigger Canoe app. Dang, that's already done? So, wow. Okay, that was cool. /cost. So let's see what it costs us. 143,000 tokens. Okay. So let's see. Bun dev. Okay. Localhost 3001. Okay. So I can select a user. This is inside Droid. So this is the Droid version of the boat. Where did I get these SVGs? Isn't that crazy? Let's see. View roster. Yo. What's a lock? Unlock? Oh, because I'm the admin. Sign out. Oh, this is nice. As a member? Oh. I can sign up as a paddler or steers person, because apparently this is a steers person. I could say join. So now I've joined the boat. Yo, this app is super clean, not gonna lie. So as far as functionality, it's just really clean and really simple. And let me just join as another member here. Manu Tide. I can join as a steersperson. Join. You're not qualified as a steersman. That's awesome. Yeah. Paddler. Join. Awesome. Yeah, obviously it shouldn't show like to join as a steersperson if you're not like one of them. Huh. Okay, so basic functionality, we got this to work. It's way too simple. And so I want to see if I can come up with a better design style. So I'm going to prompt that from Droid. And I'm going to go back to the Droid thing here. Is this where we're at? Okay, cool. So this is still running. I'm going to say, great. It looks like we have some of the basic functionality working and everything's pretty cool. I want you to do some research on different design styles and different themes because I want this to go from a really basic app UI that we currently have to utilizing the Tailwind V4 design system and tokenization system, because eventually we're going to add light mode and dark mode. And we're going to want different types of fonts and stuff like that as well. The next step of the app is we're going to do a redesign and rehaul of the user interface or UI so that it has more of this Hawaiian style vibe and feel to it. And I want you to make sure that we follow the Tailwind V4 design system for this, and it should work in light mode and dark mode as well. Okay. And so use ref for search and Exa AI MCPs. Okay. Oh, Exa code MCPs. Okay. So let it do its thing. So now we're using Gemini 3 Pro, and I'm hoping that it's going to just go in and go crazy here. So let's see. We have the Droid. So this is our V2 app, and this is basically just a local storage running in here. And this is what it made. Very similar to V0. So that's really interesting. So that's two different apps. Like we had one in V0 and then we tell it to kind of update Hawaiian style. But now we're going to actually see if it can kind of do its thing here and do some more research and kind of go out and find some interesting stuff here. So as of now, this is what it's done already. So it already did some research about the whole design system and everything with using the MCP. And it came back, says Hawaiian color palettes. Here's a plan for the UI overhaul. So it's interesting because it bumped itself into spec mode just by me talking like this to the Droid. And it's coming up with this kind of design palette. So represents the water, represents the canoe for the koa, hibiscus orange for alerts. Let's kind of keep iterating on the spec. I think we have too many colors, and I sort of want to follow the design principles of Dieter Rams, where if there is color, it has to be at the right place. And we also want to follow a design hierarchy as well, because it's really easy just to kind of go really flashy and crazy, but we want to have a good design taste and also want to have subtle ways of displaying the information, because you have to think yourself as these different personas, like one as the user, one as the admin, and the person who's viewing the site for information. And you have to think through these different personas to understand their psychology and how they're going to perceive the website through these different hierarchies of needs. And so I'm going to let it do that. So I'm going to try to see if I can flip the script basically. So plan not approved, remaining in spec mode, provide feedback. Okay, so this is the feedback we're going to give it, because sometimes like with all these different colors, it just kind of gets all over the place, to be honest. So I'm really curious to see how it's going to take this direction here. So here's the revised stuff. As a viewer, it needs to see clarity, high contrast. The schedule is the hero, no distraction, calm water. The member is designed like buttons toggles are only in places where significant color. Admin needs order, structured. Yes. Okay. So the base is monochrome, white, light gray, slate, deep charcoal for the background for dark mode. Okay. Primary blind color is one color, Pacific teal. I like this. Okay. We'll drop in the display font for strict modern cleanliness, rounded. Okay, cool. Let's add back in a little bit more of some of the Hawaiian design aesthetics and also take a look at some different font options as well. Okay, so like we went too far one way and then we're gonna kind of go back the other way here. And this is going to be really interesting to see how this turns out. Yeah. Okay. Dieterams. Yes, I love Dieterams. Yeah, it's just a really good design, like a phenomenal designer. Plainly lines hierarchy of these rams, but infuse organic warmth through typography and subtle color rather than just the stark monochrome. Yes, this is great. So we have the voice of the club. So the headings are man rope or DM sans. So these are modern sans serifs, but have a friendlier, rounder character than inter. They feel more warm and human organic, fitting the club vibe. And then we have Geest sans for legibility, and then accents are maybe model space fonts for like date and times. I like this. I like this a lot. We have the sun bleach stuff, which is cool. Coral for the waitlist, success joined. Nice. So icons use thinner, cleaner strokes, borders and dividers. Let's go. Let's go. We're gonna watch Droid really just cook here. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how this is gonna come out. And since the app is here still running live, we should be able to see this kind of running side by side. And I'm just really curious to see what this is gonna look like when it's done. Why don't you use the Gemini CLI in 3 Pro? So for those in the stream, if you want to go ahead and inform on what has been happening so far, is when we did this Gemini CLI, first of all, my account was not allowed anymore for whatever reason. I was able to use an AI Studio and also able to use an Antigravity. The other part of it is that like after one prompt in Antigravity, I was like no longer allowed to use it. You know, it's like, hey, you've hit the rate limits. So that's pretty much it. So now we have to use them through these other providers. So I was using it in Cursor. Cursor is being hammered so hard right now. I've hit so many rate limits, so it's hard to just proceed through there. And then inside of Droid right now, it's working pretty well. Somebody also reported that they're using it inside of Windsurf, and that's working pretty well for them. So that's what it is. That's kind of where we're at right now. So to each its own, and we'll see what's going to be happening here. So as of now, we're basically going to go through, we're seeing it update its fonts here. And so I think it's going to be kind of cool to see this in real time kind of being built here. So that's awesome. Is it possible to add my Claude Code and cut to Antigravity to use credits from there instead of the free ones? I don't really know. If anyone knows, please let us know. I think that'd be really interesting. Yeah, that's what's up. Yo, we are cooking live. We got like 1,000 people over on X and like almost 200 people on YouTube. That's amazing. Holy smokes. Welcome everyone. So as of now, we're pretty much just have resulted to using Droid, and we're just trying to see if we can update this app here. I really want to see it go crazy. And I got rate limited pretty fast using it inside of AI Studio. And AI Studio is really cool for generating these apps. And this is something like a complicated government, really crazy structured website. And this was able to build it basically just in one big mega prompt. And when I used it inside of Claude Code, this is what it generated inside of, not Claude Code, inside of Claude, the web app. You know, we generated this. Which is good. You know, like this works okay. And we're using mock data here, obviously on the Claude app, and then same thing here. And then inside of V0, when we try to use V0 for generating some stuff, it got us so far. As far as generating basic code, you know, I've been able to make a basic component inside of Cursor, and that's kind of what we're able to ship, you know, like doing some stuff here. But what I wanted to do here, and this is where I'm hitting some issues, I'm going to keep trying again, is that I wanted to redesign my landing page for my AnimeLeak app. So my landing page so far has made it to here, but it's not really like super duper exciting as far as like a landing page for the app. Let's see if I can get it here. You know, it's like, this is my landing page already. It added some of this, which was kind of cute, but then we're back to the icons and the other stuff. And I really don't know if it's just because of the way I prompted it, the harness of, you know, Cursor, but like even using it inside of Droid and some of these other things, we get to like really basic UI stuff. And there must be something that in the system prompt inside of AI Studio, especially if you're making the web apps there, that make it kind of seem to kind of go to this like marquee style and all these really like flashy type of web designs. And so that's what's really weird. I'm kind of getting various results. It's a little tough, especially with the first day of things, that everyone's hammering them at the same time. And that's kind of what we're seeing. And obviously they have to have really high rate limits. So I'm going to be curious to see if I can use the model like later on in AI Studio and these other places to see if they take on a different behavior, right? And that's kind of is what it is. So that's kind of what I'm seeing so far. And like part of this live stream is that all of us are kind of coding together, sharing back and forth, like what you're doing. So this is kind of fun. We've been able to have some community here, people Yeah, doing its thing here. So that's what's up. Okay, so is what it is there. And let's see what's going on inside of Droid. So Droid is still redesigning our app. And I'm going to go to see how this app is doing so far. So we're seeing the changes come in real time. You can see some of the font stuff was already changed. It's looking pretty nice as far as like these little dates and stuff, which I like so far. And I like this new rounded choice that they've chosen for some of this stuff here. So that's pretty cool. That's interesting. Leave boat, paddler. Okay. So what's it doing now? Disable. Come on, man. This is so bad. Whatever. I should just tell Sonnet 4 to fix it. Yeah. Okay. Jesus. Okay. Refresh. Now we have dark mode. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let me just recompile the app. It's cool. Yeah. To be honest, this looks like if I hired someone on Fiverr to make a web app for me, this is kind of like the vibe I get. Don't you? Like that's kind of the way I'm feeling it right now. I'm a member. So I'm now selected as the admin. So as the admin, I can create a new session. So I can say this time, at that time, create session. Okay. But I don't see the session. Yeah. Oh, I see, because it's not in the future. Create session. Yeah, here we go. Paddler. Lock. Unlock. Oh, lock probably hides it from everyone else, huh? Empty boat. Okay. View full roster. Huh. Interesting. Dark mode. Ooh. Wow. Not gonna lie, I'm liking this dark mode thing. Okay, what does it say is going on here with Droid? So, okay, so it has a new design palette. Nice. Okay. So now check warm light mode. Okay. Fun dev. I'm gonna rerun this. Cool. Let me sign out. Let me just join I can't join a boat unless I'm a user. Cool. Leave boat. Join boat. That's cute. Leave boat. Join boat. Okay. Need steersman. Okay. Really, really simple, but okay. Huh. It works better. It's a little more warm. The cards are kind of cool. Leave boat. Yeah. It's better. It's very simple, I guess, but I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. I can delete a boat. Whoa. I probably want like a dialogue or something. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. So, okay. Yeah. All right. So that's the Droid thing. So yeah, that's our basic thing here. It's not super fancy, but I kind of want to now say, okay, this is good. Okay, this is fun. Now let's try to make it super modern and go all out as if you were a design studio trying to make the best impression. Okay, so I'm really curious now. So can we take this existing app that we have and see if we can flip it and see if we can, I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see if I can see some of that nice UI stuff that you normally get from Gemini. And I'm really curious to see if I can kind of pull that out from the model and see what you guys are saying. Also, what prompts are you guys using for Gemini? Have you had anything that's really useful that can be shared with everyone else? Please share that here. So that'd be really fun. Is there an affordable way to use the new Gemini every day without needing an API key? So I think it's just on their rate limits, right? If they up their rate limits, then you're going to be able to use more. Otherwise, I think you would just pay their API prices. And so, yeah, that is what it is. I actually think Droid 3 Gemini saves quite a bit of money. I prefer Gemini 3 in the CLI. Yeah. And is it the CLI for the Google Gemini CLI, or you're talking like Droid, or like, I'm just curious to hear about that. Yeah. The The marketing team at my company contracted a company contracted a company for a web app, paid over $12K, and the whole thing was vibe coded using Lovable. Damn. And I was like, so they hired someone to basically build a Lovable app. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. How do you do simple user authentication? I just use Clerk, to be honest. Like that's a quick, like couple minute setup. Clerk auth setup. So let me just take you through the steps real quick. So to do the steps, let's see if we have docs, getting started, Next.js. The reason why I like Clerk is just, it's so easy to get set up in a couple steps here. So you just do the install, make sure that if I'm using Bun, you add the middleware here. You could even just tell the AI to just copy prompt or open in Cursor and then it will do it for you basically. But that's the kind of basic premise. But in essence, what you do is you set up this provider. And this provider is wrapped around your app. And that's what's basically doing the client-side checks for the authentication to make sure the user signed in. And they expose these little components. One of them is called signed in and signed out. All of these are pre-built for you, so you don't have to build them. And you don't have to prompt the AI to do it. It already has it for you ready to go. And so when you sign in, you'll see the sign in button and so forth. And that's how you basically can create your first user. Just like that, in like a couple minutes, you're basically ready to go. There's a dashboard where you can keep track of all your users. And you can enable things like two-factor auth. You can enable like Google for authentication, Apple, and all that stuff. All of that stuff is kind of built into their thing. And they basically let you use it up to 25,000 users. After 25,000 users, you just pay 2 cents per user afterwards. And for most people, especially just getting started, you're just trying to test MVPs. That's my favorite go-to stack. One is I think they're backed by venture capital. So like their full-time job is security and making sure everything's set up. There are other things like people use Better Auth. People use these other auth platforms. You can use those as well. I just like Clerk because they're keeping up to date with everything and I don't have to worry about packages and things. I just update and kind of keep going. It plays really well with existing databases that I use, for example, Convex, but I know people use Supabase. That's all connected. There's a lot of stuff that's already set up for that. So yeah, they're very well like supported in the community as well. So that's kind of my preferred thing. And that's kind of what I use as well. So how do I replicate this camera quality? Yo, man, if you want to do this type of thing, all you have to do is just get like a nice little Canon camera. I have a 28-70 RF lens, but you can use anything that's f2.0 and you're good. Lighting is a big deal. So lighting coming in from the natural window, and then you have like some type of side light here. That's pretty much how you get the vibes. And then yeah, using Ecamm Lime is pretty much fire. So that's the current setup that I have. So obviously the microphone and everything. So yeah, man, Bradley, it's good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. I really appreciate that. So yeah, so let's see if we can see how far our droid went. So it says no body. What happened here? So try again, I guess. Continue. Oh, look at this prompt. So it says research AWWW ARDS style modern UI trends, bento grids, glass morphism, bold typography. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen here now. Why did it has a 400 error code? Try again. Oh, are we cooked, fam? Dang. Habla en español. Sí. Yo soy una inteligente artificial y yo estoy hablando en español. Y ahorita no está trabajando porque agarramos un R400. So there's basically no code / body. What? How? What happened? No. I want to cook. I want to cook. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is maybe open up a new chat window. I'm really curious. Wow. How come? Wait. Continue. Oh, please. Continue. Like this prompt was cooking. Like this is fire. Okay, I'm going to just give this plan to V0. Oh gosh, let's see. I'm going to give this plan to V0. I'm going to see if it can cook with this. This is actually a really good idea. So I'm going to say research. Okay. So I'm just going to see if we can go crazy with this. Go crazy. Yeah. So then we'll see if it's really happening. What's the AI LLM that's in there? It's a Gemini 3. Yeah. Also, the model in Droid 3 is dynamic. Do you think it's doing the same thing as the CLI routing between 2.5 Pro? No, the dynamic is the thinking. So that's what it's doing as far as like thinking high, medium, low, and so forth. So it's going to figure out what it is. Oh, shoot. /model. And I could say Gemini. I'm going to say low, high. I'm going to say high. Try again. Try again. I'm hoping that it can do something. Use exa code and ref search MCP, then try again. I think the API is getting hit from Droid. Oh man, I really want this. I really want this to work. This looks like a fire prompt. Nobody. I think this is actually a bug in Droid. /compact /compress. Oh man, I don't want to end this session. Okay. Oh, this is a fire. I think this is a bug actually. /bug report. /bug. All right. So I'm going to file a bug report to the factory team. Please share this ID with the factory team for investigation. Okay. So I'm going to let the factory team know about this because I hit a bug and I think this is what's going on. So bug report. I'm going to go to the Slack or something. Yeah. So yes. Okay, I'm going to put this over here for now. Okay, so I think I hit a bug and I probably have to hit a new chat, but basically I'm going to try to see if I can copy this prompt I had earlier. So I'm going to go back up here. Okay, I'm going to do this thing. So / hit new, hit Command K, Droid. And so what I'm going to do here is just going to type in, so we have Gemini high, it says model, and I'm going to go back to Gemini here. Go to dynamic and then paste in the same prompt. Okay. It's the best. Okay. Impression on your clients. Okay. Go. Okay. All right. So 213. So what do we have here? So what's it doing? So this is a UI overhaul. It's planned some of the stuff here. So let's see, what is it doing? Oh, it's still working. Okay. Also saw some things take time to the next level. Okay. Can it help with the Copilot thing with existing code edit in Antigravity? I don't know. I don't know about realistic graphics. Oh, I've heard about these shaders and stuff. So that'd be interesting to check out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another stream where I come back and hopefully like some of the rate limit stuff has calmed down, because right now I'm hitting so many different rate limit issues. And this is probably like a good time to kind of retire the stream because of all the different issues that I'm hitting. But right now it's actually cooking right now in Droid. So, and over here, it's still doing its thing. It's just taking a really long time. I think everyone's just trying to hammer it right now. So as of now, we've been able to generate a lot of these cool websites. We tried some stuff here with like comparing it into Claude Code. If you haven't tuned in earlier, we basically made our little volcano monitor, and this is kind of what Claude Code made. But then when we put that in Gemini Studio, it really kind of went to town here, and it made a really nice looking dashboard. And what surprised me here is the fact that the dashboard not only works in this view, but also works in mobile view, also works in tablet views. So for those who are building with this model inside of AI Studio, you get some really good code for what you're getting here. It tends to behave very differently when you're starting to use it inside of Cursor and some of these other agents. I don't get that same right off the cuff like sauce that everyone's seeing from these direct landing pages. And there must be some type of prompt adherence that is being used in AI Studio versus what's being used in Cursor, right? So Cursor has been tuning this for the last couple of weeks. They get these responses and everything like that, and that's kind of what they get. And when I'm doing inside of Cursor, is it similar to everything else as far as like sonnet models? I think it's very different. I feel like this to me feels like a Haiku plus. So it's smarter than a Haiku model. Is it as good as Sonnet 4.5? In different ways. I haven't really put it to the test in terms of like helping me refactor a bunch of code. And I think I'll do that next. The focus of this was mostly trying to see, can Gemini 3 be a little bit of a designer for me? Can it take a look at an existing design system? And when I did that inside of Cursor, it seemed to want to stick to its own design principles, like wanting to do these cool scrolling marquees. Didn't really want to follow a lot of my brand design guidelines until I told it to really do that. When it finally did that, it's just okay at generating its UI, right? It's like looking at a pattern, generating it. It just looks like everything else I've vibe coded it. When I started it from scratch inside of Droid, we made that Outrigger Canoe app. And same thing with V0. It tended to just generate anything that you would normally see when you're just doing, something that was basically done in Sonnet 3.5, right? So that's kind of the UIs that I got. And so to me, it's telling me that there's something that's going on in AI Studio that it's probably it probably has this prompt for the AWWW type of thing, where it's going to generate these, really cool, like fun, good, high design type of landing pages. That's probably not in a system prompt that's currently inside of Cursor. So that's an interesting insight, and we'll be digging into that more in future live streams. So if you haven't had a chance, go ahead and subscribe. We just crossed the 18,000 mark on YouTube, and this is pretty amazing for last year having like 100 subscribers. And I appreciate everyone who's been able to kind of tune in and check this stuff out. If you haven't had a chance, check out basically AnimeLeak is the app I'm kind of building right now. Just kind of fun using the Nano Banana stuff. I'll be updating some of that as well. And feel free to check out any other types of things that we're doing here. Make sure you stay subscribed. Also follow me on X if you haven't chance to. We just crossed the 27,000 mark there as well. We've had like 1,000 plus people stop on by on X, which has been really incredible. I have over hundreds of people who have been stopping by here. So I really appreciate the love. I appreciate the community. I actually need to get going so that I can get a bunch of stuff taken care of. And we're kind of got this stuff here as far as like what we're doing. Also check out Ray Transcribes. I really appreciate that, Bradley. If you haven't had a chance to, I have this app called RayTranscribes.com. And this is basically what I'm currently using to get found like the big channel. So if you haven't had a chance, check that out. It's really awesome.
Lovely lady from Los Altos, California.